The views expressed on Talk Real Solutions, hosted by Tyrone Thompson at talkrealsolutions.com, are the views of Tyrone Thompson and do not reflect the views of talkrealsolutions.com, YouTube, or etc. The content here belongs to Talk Real Solutions and its many contributors. Views and opinions expressed by all contributors belong to them and not talkrealsolutions.com or Tyrone Thompson, the host, or etc. All data and information provided on the site is for informational purposes only. Talk Real Solutions makes no representations as to accuracy, completeness, correctness, suitability, or validity of any information on this site and will not be liable for any errors, omissions, or delays in this information or any losses, injuries, or damages arising from its display or use. All information is provided on an as-is basis.
All right, all right. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. This is Talk Real Solutions, and I am your host tonight, Tyrone Thompson. I want to thank you for tuning in. Today is September. Did I change the damn date? Today is September. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm all in September. October the 30th, 2025. And if you want to join the conversation, all you have to do is dial the number at 1717-908-1834. And I'll open your mic when you press the participant code at 917-324. And I'll let you in and you can speak about whatever you want to speak about. I'm not going to give a warning this week because we didn't have no drama last week. So I'll just play it like that. But yeah, welcome to the show, guys. And I'm just, I mean, straight off the bat, I don't know what I am. I think I'm going through some psychological, emotional draining from this country, like depression and just being all screwed up because of the condition this country is in. I'm not in this thing emotionally no more. Except whenever I do pay attention, I get angry. A lot of people, they're so withdrawn from politics they don't really understand, or they don't think that it's going to affect them. They go down these paths of believing the conspiracies and the rumors and the hearsay and all of this stuff, and it's all, if I seem distracted, I'm cleaning my glasses. As I'm getting old, I'm getting blind as shit. This age shit is kicking in fast as shit for me. I'm getting old as hell. Jesus Christ. I can hardly move. My bones don't feel right. I'm getting old fast as shit. And I don't like it. But anyway, I know that's nature. But yeah, a lot of people in my community has went down this path of not being involved in politics, not caring about this white man's law and don't give a shit about this white man's country. And this country ain't mine. I don't give a fuck. Let them fight it out amongst white people. I'm not going to the polls because, hell, it ain't going to change nothing. All of this shit, right, that we have been in our community, and I've heard, more than that, and I'm pretty sure you have, reasons why we shouldn't participate. We're on a Democratic plantation. All the fucking Republican, all the politicians are racist. I don't know. You can go on and on and on why black people don't participate in politics. There's so many reasons that I've heard over the years that is ignorant, in my opinion. But to them, it's valid and you can't get past that hurdle there. You can't. I mean, the conversation that I've had on here with previous people that's been on the show about politics and why it's relevant, it's kind of like you're running into a brick wall when it comes to politics and talking to black folks and trying to express the relevancy because understandably so, we are a hurt community. And when we spend our time and effort on something, we want to get something in return. We want to see the results. I get that whole mindset, but that's not reality. That's not the way it works. And I accept the way it works because I think I understand it, even though I'm not satisfied with the outcomes the majority of the time. I think I kind of understand politics and why it's so important that us as a community participate and participate the right way. And when I say that, I'm just going to be straight up and say not to vote Republican. There shouldn't be a black MAGA, a black Republican. Nobody that's black should vote Republican in this country ever. You know, and then they confuse you with the history of politics in this country and say the Democrats used to be racist and you're in a racist. That ain't the way it works. And unless you're willing to sit down and do the work and understand where we are in politics today, you can see that's nothing but something else to confuse you about politics, to keep you from participating in politics, because that's just not the way the parties evolved. The parties always change. Um, and they're changing now. For instance, since it's Democrats, and I don't know if you can relate to this or not, but this is what I'm noticing. This is what I'm noticing about the Democrat Party itself right now. Since the Democrats lost this last election and lost power, I can see a shift in who the Democrats are willing to pander to. And when I say that, that shift is happening and it's moving to the right. In other words, they're allowing the racist rhetoric, they're allowing the racist conversations, they are allowing the corporations' influence, they're allowing the Jewish influence by APAC. And that's kind of shifting a little bit from what I grew up knowing as a Democrat, what a Democrat was, right? And the way I seen it, and like I said, I'm not 100% right. I seen Democrats as helping out people, doing social programs, providing resources for people that don't have, things like that I noticed the Democrats are doing. Actually addressing the communities, the minority communities, and actually talking about the minority community issues. For instance, one that I hated that they talked about all the time was prison reform. Every time you heard politics, all you heard was prison reform. Basically, they was trying to have a handout to black people and say, "Look, we're doing something for you." I thought it was stupid, but that was always where they went. You don't hear that shit no more, right? And that's because the Democrats are shifting. They're shifting to the right, and the right is actually winning this fucking battle. They're winning, because the rhetoric is changing, and it. I think I took a psychology class, and there's this thing called. Let me see. Y'all know I got to look shit up before I get it right. Yeah, it was called an Overton window. Hold on, let me put this over here. It's been so damn long ago since I went to school. Y'all making me think about all this old bullshit. The Overton window. Here it is right here. All right, so oh, that's wrong. Y'all hold on for a second. Let me get my classroom set up right. As I'm talking about the Democrats shifting, it reminded me of this Overton window that I heard about shit a long time ago. I don't even pay attention to this type of shit no more, but we're gonna learn tonight. There we go. All right, so here's the Overton window. I just Wikipedia'd it. Wikipedia, and it gives you a general overview of what I'm trying to say here about this theory. And it says the Overton window theory, developed by Joseph P. Overton, describes a range of ideas the public will accept and consider politically viable at any given time. So, when I'm talking about the Democrats shifting, is I'm talking about the ideas that is being accepted now by that party that has not been accepted by the party. But let me go ahead and describe the Overton window so I can explain to you further how the Democrats is shifting. Okay, so it says the Overton window theory developed by Joseph P. Overton describes a range of ideas that the public will accept and consider politically viable at any given time. It posits that policies success depends on more on the public acceptability than on the politician's personal preference. The window can shift over time. And that's the point that I'm trying to get at. The window can shift over time, making previous radical ideas mainstream and vice versa through a process influencing the public opinion to move the boundaries of what is considered acceptable. So when I'm saying the Democrats' mindset has shifted and is moving towards more radical views, or moving away from the more uh, the more acceptable views, in my opinion, that it had in the past. And they've got a chart here. I don't know if you guys know you can. Yeah, y'all can see it. No, you can't. Well, it's this picture here. Let me put that in the window. See right there, the categories is unthinkable, radical, acceptable, sensible, popular, policy, right? And then it goes down to the other side where it says popular, sensible, acceptable, radical, unthinkable. So on the left, you got these unthinkable, radical, acceptable, sensible ideas, and then it goes to the middle where it says policy, and then on the right you got the same thing, but it's on the right side. So you got the left all the way up to radical and unthinkable, and then you got the right that's all the way up to radical and unthinkable. So what I'm telling you now is that, let me see, this is probably a well, no, I'll go back to the other one. What I'm telling you now is that when the left was more on its own side of its own popular, sensible policies, when the right came along and they won and they took over the three branches of government, and then the rhetoric and the media started leaning right, then that started shifting the mindset of the base of the Democrats to try to, be acceptable in that popular area. So everybody is kind of, you know what? I'll accept that Charlie Kirk was a racist. We deserved him. We deserve to give him respect, right? So in the past, if you was a racist, just like I've on my stance, I'm not accepting Charlie Kirk as shit because he's a piece of shit, right? But we've seen people from the left chastise people on the left for basically repeating what Charlie Kirk said, which is not extreme, and actually calling him a xenophobic, homophobic, racist piece of shit, because that's what Charlie Kirk was. But if you say that now, then the Democrats or the left is going to be saying, that's a little extreme for Charlie Kirk. You know, he had a family and he was just using his freedom of speech. No, he was one of those radicals and unthinkable motherfuckers on the other side. So in order for the Democrats to accept him, that Overton window had to shift from what is normal on the left to accepting what the radical right accepts. And that reminds me of what I see on CNN with Abby Phillips all the goddamn time. When it wasn't acceptable to see these racists on CNN, but they're seen all the time on fucking CNN now, right? And even when I'm looking at some of these, what they call left-wing free media or independent media on social media, whenever I hear them giving their commentary, they're not calling the extreme radicals. They're more willing to, give the benefit of the doubt and hear what they have to say, and we have to bring them into the fold, and people are waking up from MAGA and all this kind of bullshit, which is telling me that this Overton window is shifting, where the people on the left are accepting the extremism and the unthinkable behavior that comes from the fucking right. And like I said, I'm just a fucking nobody sitting here running my mouth, right? But it is obvious to me that there is a definite shift in the mindset of how Democrats or people on the left thinks. And it's more accepting of the radical behavior, the unthinkable behavior on the right. I'm not going to change. My fucking Overton window is fucking broke. My shit ain't gonna never shift. I'm gonna stand on what the fuck I stand on regardless. But because of popularity and acceptance, and when you talk about politics, you're talking about the politicians wanting to gain that popularity for whatever reason, they're willing to shift and accept the radical and unthinkable behavior from the right just so they can be involved. Because here's the other side of not shifting, right? And we've seen this in politics. And I give you a perfect example because I noticed this because I use this terminology all the time. Soon as I call somebody a fucking racist, the conversation is shut off. They don't want to hear that. So we can't use that language anymore when we're talking about racist. If I call this other person a racist, they say, "Oh, you're unserious about the conversation." That's all you got. They'll dismiss the accurate description of who the fuck they are because it doesn't fall within the window and is accepted no more. They've done and made it unthinkable or unacceptable to be called a racist. And that's part of the problem, is that they didn't push that type of thinking so far out that whenever you use that terminology and call them the fucking KKK and call them Nazis and call them fascists and call them racist, it's an automatic dismissal. You're not serious. But instead of looking at why the fuck am I being called a racist? Or why do they think I'm a fascist? They don't even consider that shit no more. Right? It's automatically discounted. And even on the left, because they don't use that terminology, mean that they're accepting the fact that they can't describe these fascists as fucking fascists. And they're moving forward like everything is all right. And it's not. I don't know why the fuck I started thinking about the fucking Overton window, but to me, that's what's going on in politics today, right? And the left, they've got some work to do. They've got some work to do. Whenever I hear people talking about bringing MAGA into the fold, or there's some MAGA voters out there that we need to convince, no, the fuck is not. These people hate you. Fuck MAGA. At not one point in time have you heard any other fucking MAGA concede or say that they're willing to work with you at all. Now, I hate that this is going on, but it kind of gives me a little bit of hope when I see that the government is shutting down. And not hope because I don't want to see nobody without food stamps. I don't want to see, hell, my check might stop. I don't want to see none of that shit happen on the first, right? But the reason I said give me hope is because that means that the Democrats ain't falling for this bullshit to this point. To where they're actually, what's up, MJ? To where they're, and Sarge, I see you in the chat room, and Mr. Ivermectin, what's up, ABC and Frodo? But that means the Democrats are holding firm and not shifting and allowing the Republicans to control the narrative. They've already shifted a fucking enough. Trust me. They've already shifted enough. If the government opens back up, and this is the way the Republicans have been doing, they've been pushing the extremist shit until the Democrats cave. And once the Democrats cave, they'll say, okay, I can push a little bit more. And they've been doing that over and over and over and over again, right? And it's unfortunate that it's taken a government shutdown for the Democrats to finally say, okay, well, we're not playing this game no more. And for good reason, because if they give the Republicans what they want, a lot of people are not going to be able to afford health care. A lot of people's Medicaid is going to be affected. Social Security is going to be affected. The things that we was clearly pointing out a long time ago that was going to happen, that is happening now, will happen if the Democrats cave. Now, I think, well, I'm gonna get off of that Overton window shit and the Democrats shifting for a little while, because since I brought up the government shutdown, I alluded to last week why I think all of this is going on, and I think other people on here said the same thing, that the Trump administration has always characterized the left as violent, as lawless, as immoral, as evil. That's their characterization. The characterization. That's just not the way the left is. Hell, I'm a leftist. You don't. That's not just the way the left is. And I think most of the people that participate in here lean left And you don't hear none of that radical extremist bullshit. Now you do have people on the left that will say kill Whitey and all this kind of shit. Now I ain't gonna say that don't exist, because it does. Because extremism exists on both sides. And because just like I named those people on the left, you got white supremacists now wearing ICE uniforms. Proud Boys, Oath Keepers, KKK members, Nazis. Secretary of fucking Defense has a fucking racist tattoo on his fucking chest. So you got extremists on both sides. Stephen Miller is a fucking Nazi. Like I said, you got extremists on both sides. So the left do have its extremists. But the most violence come from the right. But what Donald Trump and his administration has done is he's sent out enough propaganda to characterize the left as being violent over and over and over again. And whenever you had the Black George Floyd murder and the Black Lives Matter movement, you had white supremacists infiltrating those movements and actually causing violence. And the narrative is being told incompletely now. And they saying the whole movement was violent, instead of these people who actually the people who actually joined the movement to provoke the violence, because they've been research have been done, reports have been done. These people have been caught. I'm not making up shit. I'm not saying no people on the left wasn't violent, but I do know that we've done reports on this show exposing the white racists that actually joined the rallies, joined the movements, joined the protests, and actually set buildings on fire. Didn't have nothing to do with the left. There's a whole fucking report done it by the FBI, and we read it here on the air. So I'm not making up nothing. But my point is, the administration wants to characterize the left as violent, right? You've seen it when it came to him deploying military into these blue cities. The reason for his deployment in these blue cities is because he was lying and saying that the violence is out of control. The violence is out of control. The left in Chicago is going fucking nuts. The left in Portland is going fucking nuts. The left in DC is going nuts. So we have to break the law and deploy the military internally against Americans in the United States. And the right accepted that bullshit. You don't hear nobody complaining from the right about the military being deployed in this country. But that scheme didn't work. They didn't get no pushback where no radical left people was running out being violent, setting buildings on fire. The pushback that they got was people in these fucking blow up costumes dressed like frogs and bunny rabbits and shit. So that didn't work. Then they started arresting Americans, locking them up. They started going into black apartment buildings, zip tying black children in the street. That still didn't piss enough people off to cause them to be violent. He's talking about enacting the insurrection laws even before anything fucking kicked off. So he's looking for the left to be violent. In other words, he's looking for a reason to enact martial law. This is what he's looking for. The same thing that the right was screaming about that Barack Obama was going to do years ago. and enslaved the white people, the black people. This is the shit that Donald Trump is actually enacting right now. There has never been a time in this country's history where we had so much military presence in so many American cities, locking up American people for no goddamn reason. This has never happened. And every time he get ready to do something, just like when the No Kings protest was happening out in California, I shit you not, the president of the United States deployed the fucking Marines. As a show of strength at a peaceful protest. Did y'all hear what I just said? The president, our government, deployed the Marines on the same day of a peaceful protest, and they actually shot off munitions as a show of force. We don't hear the right saying shit about that. So what am I getting at here? Well, I guess tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, Saturday is the 1st. And a lot of people in this country are not going to get their subsidies that they normally get. And that's going to anger a lot of people. Now, because Trump is a sick, racist piece of shit and don't give a fuck about American citizens and ready to deploy the military on his own constituents, Donald Trump and Stephen Miller and the rest of those fucking racists in Washington, this is what they're planning. They're planning for people to be so upset about the government shutdown that they are going to loot, behave violently, vandalize, and it's going to give them a reason to continue their plan of this military takeover or this martial law or whatever. This is what the plan is. Because I can tell you, there's no reason for the government to be shut down. This shutdown is manufactured. Big banks didn't go under. The economy didn't flop. There is no pandemic. As a matter of fact, the economy was doing good before this motherfucker took over. So this is a manufactured shutdown in hopes that the people suffering the most in this country will respond violently so they can continue to deploy the military on American citizens. Now, I would usually say around this time that that's my conspiracy and all this kind of stuff, which it is, but I'm not going to emphasize that because I have a feeling that what I'm saying is 100% accurate based on what the fuck they've been doing so far. Based on the fact that these people test the waters before they go ahead and make their final move, or they inch along, just like whenever he first got in, he got rid of USDA. And then he started shutting down government agencies. Then he started sending people home. And then all of these things that those were doing, those were tests. Those were tests to get a response out of the American people. And the American people is so shocked at what the fuck going on, they don't know how to respond. We've never seen no shit like this. I can tell you historically and in other countries, you respond to you respond to situations like this with your whole fucking chest. You don't hold back historically. But Americans don't know how to do that. But I can almost promise you, if it get bad enough, these people are going to they're gonna wake something up that they do not want to wake up. I can almost promise you that, but I don't know how bad it's got to get before Americans actually show their ass. Because Americans will show their ass. I know there's a lot of people that are in fear, and you can see that on the other side. You can see how scared the Republicans are. But at the same time, when you have a starving child and you have a starving family and you are doing everything right, working late, providing, barely resting, tired, and you're doing everything right. Whenever you put a man or a human in that situation, things happen. And these people are manufacturing this environment to where he's going to have millions of people frustrated, angry, in a country full of fucking weapons. I don't know when this is going to be, but I can tell you that if you starve some goddamn body, they going to do what they need to damn do to eat. That's with any animal. That's natural. You know, in Nazi Germany, because the Germans were so fucking stupid and racist, they went along with that bullshit. If you was to run a parallel to America, you don't have that dynamic. You do have the right and you do have the left. And the rights is in charge, or they have power right now. But the left comes from the same citizenry with access to the same resources. I can't even imagine. I'm sitting here thinking now, going down this road would be fucking very ugly. It wouldn't. There would be a lot of stuff going on that's unimaginable. But the reason that I'm talking like this is because this is where this administration is pushing these people, and what they're hoping is that the left. You remember I was talking about the Overton window earlier. They was hoping that the left just go ahead and just keep sliding to the right and allow these things to exist. to happen. That's what they're hoping. That's what they're hoping. Y'all seen the destruction of the goddamn White House when these same people were fucking crying fucking snowballs in Charlottesville when they was taking down Confederate racist ass monuments, screaming that they want to preserve the history of this country. When the monuments was removed down here in the South, that's all you heard these racist piece of shit MAGA fucking nutbags screaming, is that they want to preserve history. People got pissed when the rebel flag was removed from the Capitol grounds down here in Columbia because they want to preserve fucking history. But whenever you let your dictator and your God have power, and he literally drives a bulldozer through one of the most historic buildings in America, you say shit because the motherfucker that drove the bulldozer through the White House actually prepped you by saying shit like this.
They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
That's why the fuck you didn't say shit. Because you actually agreed with Donald Trump saying some of the most outrageous shit, and he prepped you because you're fucking retarded by saying stupid shit like they're eating dogs and eating cats. And because you are a cult following fucking zombie, you literally watched this man drive a bulldozer through the fucking White House, destroy forever the most famous rose garden, and you ain't said shit. So he knows whenever he deploys these troops in the streets of America, he's got the backing of fucking cult following fucking racist ass zombies like ABC and Sarge. They're fucking racist. They're cultists. This is why I say you can't convince, you can't sway MAGA to do a damn thing. Fuck MAGA. Fuck these. If you are a Republican, you are a racist. There is no more. There might be a center Republican. No, fuck all that. You support a racist. You support Charlie Kirk. You support your fucking teenage children and college age children listening to a racist belittle and demonize black people. You're a fucking racist. And if you black, you a fucking yes a boss ass nigga. Yeah, ABC just said shut the fuck up, Tyrone. Why? Is Massa telling you? See, this is what I'm saying right here. This coon ass motherfucker hear me speaking all of these facts as it relates to black Americans. Your pathetic argument will never persuade anyone. So I got two coons in the chat room doing the same shit that I just fucking said. Instead of saying I hear a black man spitting that damn truth, let me see what I can damn contribute or learn. They defend the Massa. That's these yes boss ass niggas what was that dude name on the Django? He's Steven ass nigga, Steven. I think that was his name. What was that? What was that Steven said? Boss, I love you like a hog loves slop. That's what that's what these Steven ass niggas, that's y'all mindset. I loved you like a hog loves slop. I think that was yeah. The Django. Oh, I put it B. That's his name, Steven. I think ABC kind of looked like that too. Yeah, with the bald head and everything. Sorry, probably kind of look like that too. But anyway, I got these damn Steven ass niggas in the chat room. When I'm trying to spread some knowledge to the black community about how racist these motherfucking piece of shits cult following people is. Listen, we live in a society to where these people have actually, how can I say it? They perfected they perfected their racism, right? And when I say that, what I mean is that we can walk around, go to Walmart, go to the garage, get your fucking service done, go down to the water park or wherever the fuck y'all hang out at the Coliseums, side by side with these racist ass motherfuckers. And they won't say a goddamn thing. But they're in the same spaces that you occupy. That wouldn't bat an eye if you were swinging from a goddamn rope. Because their perception is, as long as a white man is in charge, they have power. But the trick is, they're so stupid. They so stupid that they don't know that they're getting screwed. It's just like we said last week with this Lyndon B. Johnson quote. It said, if you can convince the lowest white man that he's better than the best colored man, he won't notice you're picking his pocket. Hell, if you give him somebody to look down on, he'll empty his pockets for you. That's exactly what the Trump racist white Americans realize, is that long as you can point to black people, long as you can point to Hispanic people, long as you can point to somebody else and tell those white motherfuckers that they are better than the same people in their same economic class, those white people will actually go fucking hungry and allow their fucking SNAP benefits to be taken away because they think that they're white and with them not getting food subsidies, it's going to hurt black people better than them. This is how stupid they are. I seen white people on TikTok this week coming outside of their trailer houses talking shit about people not getting food stamps, and they look like they on food stamps them damn selves. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? And then, like I said last week, it's not only about the damn food stamps. This is a fucking nightmare for the system of economics that supports the food that is being supplied through this subsidy program. The people who bring the product to the store. Hell, the people who make the product. Right? The suppliers, the distributors, the truckers, all of that's in that chain. If you stop allowing people to buy food, there's no need for it to get shipped to the goddamn store no more. There's no need to produce it anymore. And there goes that fucking money in your goddamn economy. These people are just stupid. And what time is it? Oh shit, you know me, I just run my mouth about anything. But listen, I did want to talk about the reason that I called the show I Rebuke You in the Name of Jesus. Y'all know I'm a fucking atheist. But there was a decision made, and I don't know if y'all remember this case, the Sonya Massey case, where the police officer came in and shot the lady in the head, Sonya Massey. You know what? That's one of the times that when I talked to Howard on the phone, that really he really had me bothered. And I don't know why. I wasn't familiar with the case that much, but I know that let me put this up so y'all can see what I'm talking about. I'm pretty sure y'all remember. Okay, so I'm gonna do this article because it looks like this is leaning toward what I'm trying to say. Partial justice. Okay, so but anyway, there ain't nothing against Howard. He good people, but he called me during that time. I guess because he was looking at a video or something. And he was now I'm not saying that Howard said that this was a justified shooting. I'm not saying that. But he wanted to have a debate about whether or not Sonya Massey threatened the officer with a pot of water. That in itself sent me mentally fucking off the damn roof. I was like, are we looking at the same video? And then he went into like some of the talking points that was being said on social media about look at how she's holding the pot with that hot water in there. That officer felt threatened. No. No. No, 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 no. You know, and because that narrative existed out there, that proves what I be talking about, how society can program you to accept these narratives. Because what? Because that was a white man with a fucking gun, and that is the most correct person in this goddamn country. He can never be wrong, according to the way this fucking country is. If it's a white man with a gun, then he's justified in everything that he fucking does. That's what people have been programmed with in this country. But if you looked at the video and you seen this woman say, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. Now, of course, I'm not a religious person. But coming up in the black community, I knew exactly what she was saying. As a matter of fact, let's do this right here. Let's see. I'm going to Google I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. Let's see what it okay, so it says I rebuke you in the name of Jesus is a phrase used by Christians to express strong disapproval, and, reject something that they believe is evil. often by invoking spiritual authority. It can be directed at perceived evil spirits like demons, or used against negative situations, behaviors, or abstract concepts as injustice. The expression is rooted in Christian beliefs in Jesus' power of authority and is considered an act of faith to bring deliverance and healing. So Wikipedia said all of that, but I kind of knew what it meant without being so detailed when she said it. Right? And when she said that, Grayson said aggressively, "You better fucking not. I swear to God, I'll fucking shoot you in your fucking face." She said, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." Then he said, "You better fucking not. I swear to God, I'll shoot you in your fucking face." Well, here's the conversation. It says Massey asks, oh, hold on. According to the body cam footage and the courtroom testimony, Gracie saw a pot of boiling water and told Massey, "We don't need a fire while we're here." He asked her to move the pot, stepping back as she did so. Massey then asked, "Where are you going?" Grayson said, "Away from that steaming water." Moments later, Massey said, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." Grayson immediately became aggressive, saying, "You better fucking not. I swear to God, I'll shoot you in the fucking face." He drew his weapon. "Drop the fucking pot," is what he screamed. As Massey ducked behind the kitchen counter, Grayson fired 3 shots, hitting her in the head. His partner testified during the trial that Massey never posed a threat, describing Grace's action as sudden and unexpected. After a week of testimony and emotional witness account, the jury began to deliberate Tuesday. By Wednesday, they returned with a guilty verdict, finding Gracie guilty of murder in the second degree. Prosecutors argued that Grayson acted out of anger, not fear. Later gave false statements about what happened. Outside the courtroom, Sonia Massey's father, Wilburn, who traveled from Jefferson County, Arkansas, said that the verdict brought some closure but not full justice. And I agree with that. Because he got second degree murder. And what we seen on that tape and what I just read, that was murder in the first degree due to the fact he told that woman that he was going to shoot her in the face because she said, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." And then he shot her in the fucking face. That's not second degree murder. Outside the courtroom, Sonia Massey's father, Wilmer, who traveled from Jefferson County, Said the verdict brought some closure but not full. We got partial justice. We didn't get complete justice. That's what we wanted, Wilburn said. He described how his daughter's death sent shockwaves far beyond Illinois. It was like you throw a rock in a pond and the waves go out. That's how it went out from the family to the friends, to my Elk family, to my Jefferson County family. I think this hurt all around the world. Wilburn said faith has been his family's only source of strength. When this kind of hurt comes in your life, you have no alternative. You can't do nothing but lean and depend on. Yeah, I don't think this should have been second degree murder. But then again, that's this country taking care of white people. This should have been first degree murder. And it says first degree murder, a prosecutor must prove that the killing was intentional and that the defendant deliberately and planned the act beforehand. Once again, he said, I'm going to shoot you in the fucking face. Examples of evidence that might be suggested premeditation includes threats made against the victim before the killing. I'm going to shoot you in the fucking face was what was said. That was the threat. A history of hostility between the defendant and the victim. Lying in wait or an ambush. Purchasing a murder weapon. Evidence of additional brutal attacks. He got evidence. He got a record that says that he's violent. Second degree murder is typically defined as unlawful killing or malice, but without premeditation. It is often described as an international unplanned killing that happens. This is why he shouldn't have got second degree, but he's a white man in this country, so they give him second degree. Malice or afterthought needed to be in a second degree murder to charge can be shown in a few ways. Intent to kill. The defendant intended to kill but lacked the time to plan or act. That's not a lie. He don't fall up under that. Intent to inflict serious bodily injury. The defendant intended to cause severe bodily injury but not death. No, he planned on shooting her in the goddamn face. He don't follow for that either. Extreme indifference to humans. The defendant acted with reckless disregard for human life, and the death occurred, often called depraved heart murder. An example might be firing a gun randomly in a crowd. He don't fall up under that either. So second degree murder don't even fit what this racist piece of shit did. But here he is in a country again, giving the white man a slap on the wrist. And of course, with second degree murder, I'm pretty sure there's less time that he's going to get compared to first degree murder. And he'll probably be able to get out earlier. So here's the comparison here. The first degree murder, yes, the killing was planned and deliberate. It was planned and deliberate because the man, before he pulled the trigger, said, I'm going to shoot you in the damn face. The intent to kill, it is an intentional killing. He said, I'm going to shoot you in the goddamn face for no goddamn reason. Can it be first degree if the death occurs during a dangerous felony act like robbery or arson? It can be. Lying in wait to shoot and kill somebody. He said, "I'm going to shoot you in the damn face." So yeah, he shouldn't have got second degree murder. But then once again, this is a white country, and Oh, I ain't even tell you. But the deputy, the racist that killed Sonya Manning got found guilty. I guess if y'all haven't assumed that, I should have led with that. But Sean Gratian got got found guilty in the death of Sonya Massey. So I don't know when the sentencing is going to be. And I've heard somebody say that he can get up to 20 years, but so could Puff Daddy. So you see how that turned out. So I don't know how long this man is going to stay in jail, or they give him some good. Oh, let me shut up. I'm talking. But yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys. And if you guys want to call in, y'all can call in to the number at 717-908-1834. And I'll get you on the line here. What's up, Miss Elisa? I ain't mean to keep you on the line that long.
Oh no, I had just called in. Um, Tyrone, while I'm talking, do you hear a click, 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 click during while I'm talking?
No, I don't hear anything.
You don't hear anything? When you're talking, there's a click, click, click.
Oh, is it?
I think it's yeah.
Oh, I ain't got no clock in here or nothing. Let me see. I don't know what to do. Let me see if I can turn it down or something. It's been clicking the whole time. I wonder if I can hear that on YouTube.
Not the whole time. It's just when I called in and I was listening. Whenever you talk, it's click, 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 click.
Mm-hmm.
When you're talking, that's why I was asking you. Could you hear it when I was speaking?
Nah, I don't hear it. But I don't know what it is either. So
I don't either. It's only when you're talking. As someone else, I'd be curious for them to call in and say whether or not they could hear it. But I could hear you clearly. I just hear that click, 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 click. But anyway, um, I was listening to some of your monologue. As far as the Massey case, I was trying to read up on what instructions the jury was given, and this is going to be unpopular, but evidently they were given instructions that they had different things they could choose from. I don't know if first degree murder, second degree, or one of the manslaughters. I'm not sure what instructions that they were given, but I'm going to tell you this is going to be unpopular. I'm glad that they didn't, because sometimes first degree murder is hard to. That's harder to. Yeah, that's coming from your line. It's harder to. It's harder to get because even some people who do the most heinous end up with the second degree murder charges. And one way that they can tack on extra years is to tack on extra charges, and they get convicted on all of them. But first degree is hard to prove. It's harder to get because that intent and like I said, someone has intent, someone is like stalking, and someone is they purchase a gun and they're intending, and they just that intent. That's just the thing that's harder to get. So
yeah, I get it,
I
but
am
according to the
so,
definition, as soon as he said, "I'm going to shoot you in your effing face," that should have been the the first degree right there.
that's intent. That's intent. But
There's another
I'm not
line
sure.
open. I'm gonna close this line. And see if you're if what whoever line I'm getting ready to close, I'm gonna see if this is gonna stop the ticking. Do you still hear the ticking?
Yeah, I still hear it.
Okay, well I don't know what the hell.
Whenever you speak.
Okay, well I don't know what the hell that is. Then I'm sorry, but go ahead, Elisa. I'm
Well,
sorry. And then unknown caller, you can go after Elisa.
I guess it's a ticket just has to be, but and maybe the other person can say if they hear it when I speak, or is it only just you? But it's that intent that they have to be able to prove for first degree. So I'm glad that the instructions evidently they had the first, the second, and the other manslaughters, the manslaughters to choose from. and maybe the second was the highest because maybe the prosecution didn't prove the intent the way that they wanted them to prove it. So they went with second. That's better than any of the manslaughters. Now, I'm not just saying just accept what you get. That's not what I'm saying. Yeah, he was intent on doing that. But I'm just saying that that first degree, even people who kill people, cut them up and put them up behind floorboards, sometimes they end up with second degree murder, and then they tack on the other charges, which they end up in prison. They're going for, your instructions on first degree. Sometimes that can backfire. So that's all I'm saying on that. But I never listened to the video, and I'm glad I did when you played it. I guess you played it. You said you were. I've never heard. I just heard you. I rebuke you in the name of. What did she say? I rebuke you in the name of the Lord or in the name of Jesus
I
or
rebuke you in the
whatever.
name of Jesus.
In the name of Jesus. Yeah, she saw the devil standing there in front of her, and that's exactly what he was. And I'm not a religious person, but he was convicted. Let's hope they give him the full 20. And if on the state level, then Trump can't pardon. So that's something. And because if that was federal, I think it's state. I don't know if they're going. If he's going to be facing federal charges as well. He might be first if this was the state level. He might be facing federal charges. I hope so. And then Trump can't pardon if he so chooses to outrage everyone. Because I remember seeing Orange on when he was doing the interview with the black correspondent, and that was brought up to him, and he said, "Yes, I saw the video," and he said, "Yeah, that was I have questions about that. I saw that. That it didn't look good. Didn't look good, but that doesn't mean anything. If he so chooses to pardon, to outrage, he would do that in a heartbeat. So if that's the state level, the dude will stay. I don't remember what state. What state was that? Do you know? Do you know what state that was, Tyrone?
I'm on mute. Little Rock, Arkansas. It said Little Rock is where this article came from, so it had to be Arkansas.
Okay, if it's Arkansas, that's a red state, so he could get the governor to do whatever he wants him to do. But
Well, no,
nonetheless, at the state
hold
level,
on. Tonight in Illinois, well, they did what? Wait a minute, hold on, I'm confused. They did the trial in Illinois, but the reporting came out of
what was
Arkansas. Are they close together or something?
okay? I don't. Let me see. Let me look up massive shooting. Let me just type this in.
That's
Massive
in Illinois,
shooting.
Sangamon County.
Tyrone, did
Shoots
you
in
just
Illinois.
ask? Did you
Uh
just
oh,
ask if Illinois was close to Arkansas?
I just did. I don't know. Is it? I don't know.
Oh, nigga, which
Yeah, it was
military
it.
you serving? God damn, man,
I
this is
know.
crazy. They giving you a pension, nigga?
Don't
Yeah.
you?
Oh no. I see. I see. It was in Illinois. Look like.
It was in Illinois. Yeah, you just pulled up an article that was in
Yeah, Little
Arkansas.
Rock
But no, it was in Illinois.
gave the
Yeah, it was in, so it
article.
was in
Okay.
the shooting was in Illinois. So no, he ain't getting no pardon from the governor there. So that's a done deal. Whatever time they set, he gonna have to serve that. Uh, well, I'm just glad that he was convicted. I never saw the video. I never had any intentions on watching the video. And so I'm just glad he was convicted on that. Who was that, Mama? Who was that, Mama's boy? He could go ahead
That
and
was a big
ask
old.
him
That
if
was a
he
big
can.
old seed. And look, don't get me
Oh, that
wrong.
was bigger.
I'm glad that he got convicted also. So don't get me wrong. But I don't think that. I think that he should have got more. That's just my opinion.
I
I know the
agree.
system.
I agree with you.
The system is what it is. But
I agree with you. I agree with you. But I'm glad that the jury was given instructions that they just wasn't stuck on first degree because they might have said, well, they didn't prove first degree. He most certainly. But if they, because I've followed different cases before, and when the jury was sent out, not just on police cases, but cases in general of murder, and the jury was sent out, and they got their instructions, and it was on first degree murder, and they even sent back and said, well, can we choose? And it was no, you have been adjourned They can't. They wanted to choose something else, but they just felt that the prosecution didn't prove first degree for the with the intent. That was the problem, and they wanted to choose second or one of the manslaughters, but they couldn't. So I'm just glad that they were able to choose.
Yeah.
They weren't just sent out on first degree murder. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Well,
On
I
a
get it.
tactical, on a tactical thing. That's all I'm saying.
I get it, and I want to remind people that Sarge and ABC and others came in here and tried to justify this racist ass cop shooting this lady in the face, saying that it was justified, and now
Hmm.
once again y'all been proven wrong because the court found him guilty. But what's up, Big OC?
And his partner testified against him. So I'm happy with this outcome. Go ahead, I say.
Hey, how y'all doing? Once again, I believe if the cops don't testify, this may go another way, right? Because sometimes, it may take a white man to convict a white man. You know what I'm saying? And the white folks on the jury got to hear from one of theirs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Say how he didn't feel like there was a threat there, right? So they're looking at this white man say the woman shouldn't have been killed, and I believe their guard was down a little bit, and the way they respect police, they respected what this officer was saying, and they had to go with what their emotions was telling them. I believe some of them white ladies up there got emotional during what was going on because they could see that it was 100%. All of it was incorrect. So I guess we could be happy that some type of justice got served because we sitting on edge because we know it could have went anyway, right?
Yeah.
It could have
Exactly.
went anyway. So what we know is the people that don't want to accept, I guess, whatever the court is saying, for some odd reason, have a dog in the fight. So they're gonna come up with anything. They're gonna tell you how her house shoe was on the wrong foot, and that right there provoked the cop. Her nightgown opened up a little bit and showed her collarbone, which triggered the policeman. So understand, don't go look at the video no more. You saw what you saw. Fuck what other ever bullshit somebody brings up about the case. One of her rollers fell out, so that's why she had to get shot. Don't go back. Black people, what you saw is what you saw. Homeboy's guilty. We can go ahead and clap our fingers together because we got one. Don't make a sound. Just push your index finger and your thumb together because they kind of did the right thing on this one. But I guess, we'll wait till the next one. We'll see what happens at the next one. We can get another one, but I guess we got one on this one. We got one.
Well, yeah. I'm glad that they locking him up, and what's going to suck is the amount of time that he gets sentenced. And I don't think that's going to be enough time for shooting somebody in the face like that. That's just that man should get life.
I agree.
Yeah, he was in there talking tough. All that, put it down on him, shoot you in the fucking face. All that was unnecessary. It was unnecessary.
Mm-hmm.
And second off, you knew. I look at it from this standpoint. Y'all shouldn't have been in the house. So as soon as you went in the house, everything that happened from there, I blame the police.
Yeah.
Everything that happened from the minute they walked in her house, I blame them.
And what kind of piece of shit man are you if you're looking at a woman in a nightgown standing over a stove that don't have any fucking weapons or whatever, and you so much of a sorry piece of shit that you pull your weapon out on this unarmed woman? I don't get it. I mean that was just sorry there.
And he had done other things. He's done. Go ahead. I'm sorry, because go ahead.
No, go ahead. You got it. You got it.
No, I was just going to say he had done other things in the line of duty before, and he just knew that blue wall and his partner was going to stand by him. That's when he started telling lies and different things like that. He just knew his partner was going to stand by. And was it a female partner or a male? I don't remember.
It was a male
Yeah, it was
partner.
a man. It was a man.
It was a male. He thought the
He
male
was on some
partner was going
bullshit
to
too.
stand.
The
Yeah, he
partner was
was.
on some bullshit
But
too.
he didn't. He didn't say. He went on ahead and told the truth. So told the truth.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. He told the truth when he needed to tell the truth. But they was going. You're right. They both started out, but he told the truth when he was supposed to. So
Yeah. I guess that's that one good one.
yeah. So I never saw the video of the shooting. I only saw parts when it first came in, and when she was standing up back in the little cove with his stove and all that stuff. And I always stopped it. I never thought I had no intentions on watching that. And is it a win? So it's a win of some kind, yes. And I'll take that. They lock him up. He won't be getting a pardon. Hopefully the time maybe give him. Hopefully will be 20, but it will probably be in the teens. And we'll take that. Let's hope. I'm about to look it up now to see if he's going to be brought up on some federal charges. But what the state of the Justice Department? Come on. If they haven't,
Shit, no.
if
They
they
ain't
have,
even looking at it.
I doubt
They ain't
that.
looking. They ain't gonna look at this.
Yeah, because
They
this
ain't gonna
is
look at
Trump's Justice Department, and if he has,
No. You know what?
he has-
You know what? Somebody asked Trump about this though when it happened. I think. I remember. Wasn't
Yeah,
there
they
an interview,
did.
Tyrone? I remember.
Yeah,
they asked
they
Trump
did.
about it, and I
What's
thought
that now?
he said, didn't they ask Trump about Sonia Massey?
Yeah, Alicia
Yeah,
was
they
just
did.
talking about that.
They did.
Yeah,
They did, and he said it didn't. He said it didn't look good. It didn't look
Yeah.
good from what I saw. It doesn't look good. So I don't know, but see, he wasn't president. Federal charges. Let me see. But if he was facing federal charges, that would mean that convicted Sonia Massachusetts, convicted Sean Grace, is second degree murder. Let me see. Is he? Let me type this in better. Is Sean Gracie facing federal charges? Let me see. As of October 25th, former Illinois City Sean Gracie, they say as of October 25th, he's not, so he will not be. You can just go ahead and just come to that conclusion. If it was somebody else's Justice Department, if it was another Justice Department, probably, like the one who killed George Floyd. They had already announced when he finished his trial in was that Michigan that he was going to be facing federal charges, and he was convicted of federal charges. And them old white people had already, after the president started saying he needs to pardon him. And if that Trump thought that could get black people to the streets and fighting, he would have pardoned him. But then they said that the pardon wouldn't make much difference because he still has to go back to Michigan, and serve 20. So it doesn't matter. So that's why they didn't bother with it. They didn't bother with pardoning his federal charges because he still, and y'all know that Governor, I forget, Kamala's running mate, there's no way he's going to pardon him in Michigan. So he was going to have to head back to Michigan, probably get something happen to him on the state level in the state prison. So he was better off where he was because he was going to have to do 20 in Michigan, even if they did pardon him.
Well, are you saying that somebody's talking about pardoning him?
You don't remember? This was some months ago. What's the Spanish guy, Shapiro, and different other people?
Yeah.
They were calling for him to be pardoned, for Trump to pardon him. You don't remember that? It was all in the media, all on social media,
Okay.
all these articles and things. Yeah, they were calling for that, and Trump didn't say anything. And a lot of people would say if he did pardon him, that was just to spite black people.
Right.
And to get them to run out into the streets and protest and tear up. But then, like everybody would say, even if he does, even if he does, he's not going to be set free. That he still has to head back to Michigan if he's pardoned on the federal level because he's serving the federal, and he still has to serve the time in Michigan. So he has to go back to Michigan. And the governor, what was his name? Harris, and oh my God, the governor of Michigan, I got to think of his name.
Mm-hmm.
Her running mate. He put out a statement. Well, he was like, I don't see how that would happen, why the president would do such a thing. He said, but we're ready, and we're ready to take custody of him and place him in, because he has to do state time. And everybody's like, that man is not going to pardon him. So I think that's why Trump then left that alone. They didn't bother with that.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say is that they don't have no jurisdiction there. They can't pardon him, can they? They can't do shit to him.
You have to remember he was convicted on federal charges as well, and he was convicted on state charges. So even if Trump pardoned the state charges, he has something to do with him because that's why the governor of Michigan.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this administration is racist. And if they were to take actions like that, it would go right along.
No, it's not Michigan. Let me see. Kamala, what's his name? What state is that? I got it all wrong. Kamala Harris, running mate. What was his name? Tim Walz. So let me see. Tim Walz is the state. Tim Walz, let me see, what state was that he's from? Tim Walz is the governor of Minnesota. That's where he killed him. And Tim Walz, because it was so much talk going on, they were calling for him to be pardoned. And Tim Walz put out a statement saying that he doesn't.
Derek Chauvin.
Yeah, who killed?
I thought you were talking about this guy. Yeah, I remember all that bullshit, but they can't do nothing with Chauvin either because of the state. Yeah.
Yeah. So if he pardoned him for the federal charges that he was convicted of, and Tim Walz had put out a statement, well, then we will send the Michigan state police to pick him up so he could start on his 20-year sentence in Michigan. And everybody was like, so that's not going to get black people to run out to the street. Because Tim Walz said assured, that's not happening. That's not happening. So even if the president does pardon him on the federal level, then good, he can come home and get ready to serve his 20 years here. And he will serve every day of it.
Yeah, what kind of country
that's why Trump didn't bother with that. Because it wasn't going to work.
What kind of country do we live in that we even having that discussion? You know, that's just crazy.
But if that would have set Chauvin free, I guarantee Trump would have did it. If it would have got the reaction they wanted out of black people, so they could send the National Guard out.
Well,
that was the only reason that they were talking about that.
That's what he's trying to do.
With
this whole shutdown. He's trying to get people in the street. That's what he's trying to do. A lot of people gonna be angry when it comes to the first. And I just hope
black people, because all that foolish. Yeah, but all that foolishness they were saying on TikTok that they're gonna go into the stores and they're gonna go in, they're gonna just take, and nobody's gonna. Y'all better not do that. Do not give him what he wants. I understand, but don't do that.
I don't pay attention to those people. I don't know. But you know, it makes good content because somebody say something outrageous, and then somebody will respond to it. And next thing you know, it's going viral. But
yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. I understand.
Even if they did, Elisa, honestly, I would not blame them. I'm not promoting it.
Me either.
I'm not encouraging
Me either.
it. I'm just saying, you know, all of a sudden, with no warning, you're taking food off the table for no reason. There's no reason for this.
But you can't give the administration what they want.
No, you can't.
Yes, the food banks, the government, they had money set aside. They haven't given anything to the food bank, things like that. And that's why you have to encourage, just in case it gets further and we could move into November with this, you have to encourage everybody to buy some groceries to do, because I did the other day. I went to my local grocery store because they were collecting for the state food bank. and I just bought a bag of groceries, whatever you can spare. Don't have
Well,
to be
see,
the most
with people,
expensive food, but whatever you can spare.
with people on Snap and stuff, it's not, it's no warning. This was without warning. There was no time to prep. And even
I get that.
if you're on Snap,
I get that.
if you're on Snap, you can't prep because you're living month to month, and the government is barely giving you money to get by with. So there's no such thing as preparing when you're on Snap. And
No.
I seen people saying, you should have put some food up, blah blah blah. This is not a savings account. This is to
But see,
feed
the thing
children,
is,
huh?
it's seniors,
Yeah,
it's
feed kids and stuff.
children, it's foster care parents, it's everybody, and it's a lot of people, working people. Some of these people work two jobs. They just don't earn. Food is so high now.
No,
They just don't
you
earn
got to be
enough.
working because that's the program that we in now. Years ago, you didn't have to
And
work
this,
to receive it. So, but these people are working.
and it's because I know in the state of Maryland, all senior citizens who are on Social Security, retirement and stuff, they could apply. Now it's because things have tightened up. They could apply, and they were giving them SNAP, but what they could give it what it was. Most of them wasn't receiving no more than $10, $15. The senior citizens, 10, 15. I think like the base was like 30. The top you could like 30. And what it was, you could go to the farmer's market and buy fresh fruit. And what they were allowing them to do, the seniors on Social Security, these people who work their whole lives that pay taxes, and they're getting Social Security, they would get like $25 or $30, and they could go to the farmer's market and buy fresh fruit, fresh vegetables, or what they were allowing them to do, you could take it and use it as cash. You could go to, because I remember I was reading up on it. You could go to places like IHOP and different things like that. They could get breakfast, and they could use that and select it as cash. Get breakfast. They could go to McDonald's. They could go to the fish markets to get fresh fish and have it cooked. And some of the stores that sold like fresh food, like Subway and stuff, that was a thing that they were doing in the States with the seniors. It wasn't a lot of money. It was just a thing, just to give something to help the seniors that's getting Social Security, that's retired, things like that. It wasn't a lot of money. Like I said, it was like maybe $25, $15, and they could go have a breakfast. They could go to get vegetables and things like that, all of the grocery stores, and they could convert it to cash if they wanted to, and not just go take the cash. Yeah, they could, or they would. Another thing they would allow to do, with that little $25, $30, they could take it and convert it over to cash on the card. My understanding, like
Well,
their
no,
utility bill, put that $20 on their utility bill. So that was just something extra that the state was doing for the seniors. And I thought that was so good. I thought that was excellent to do that for the seniors. And also for the veterans and things like that throughout the country. So people getting $50, $1,200 or whatever it was. That's for a lot of that. Sometimes that's for people who are getting that kind of money. That's for grandmothers and people who have lots of kids in the house that they're taking care of. That's for people who are involved in, what do you call it, when you take your foster kids and things like that.
yeah.
The average family isn't getting that kind of money. And my understanding for adults, men and women who could get stabbed, and you don't have dependents, you could only get it, I think they could, because I was reading up on it when all this was, people were talking about people that hate this, that. So I was reading up on it to get a little bit more understanding of who all could get SNAP. And for single adults, men and women, like if you lose your job and you don't have any money coming in, you could get SNAP for 3 months. And you would have to reapply to see what your situation is. You slip back to work, you got money coming in, they might cut your thing down to whatever it was that they would give you. They might cut it. And then eventually you couldn't just, like people with dependent children, it's different. But single people with no children, that's what they do. They don't just get on SNAP and stay on SNAP. If you are without You have lost your job. You could get it for intervals for 3 months, for 3 months. And then you had to reapply every 3 months. That's the least this country can do for the people is provide food when you're in need. That's the least they could do. And medical care as well, that too. Everybody should be able to get medical care and things like that. If you are, and this keeps saying they want that because they want to give it to illegal immigrants. That's not true. Illegal immigrants can't get SNAP. Now, if they have children that were born here in the United States, they can get it for them, but they can't get SNAP, and they cannot get on the Affordable Health Care Act. That's a lie that they're telling. And the reason they're able to tell that lie is because I checked into all of this, because I wasn't sure how it really all worked, but illegal immigrants can't get that. What they're saying, right, that the Democrats just want illegal immigrants, and so many people I see are repeating that, some black people too. And when you tell them that's not true, it's this, and that. Do not take my word, Google. The United States has a law that all hospitals, like if you get hit by a bus or you fall off a building, the hospitals, private and public hospitals, they have to treat you. Now, private hospitals, if you need more care, they will send you on to a public hospital. And that's anybody in this country. I don't care if you escaped here, you snuck here, you're illegal. If you fall out on the street, the hospitals, that's a law. And I think that is a good law that they have to treat, the private hospitals, they have to patch you up, send you on to the public. They have to treat you. But these people cannot get the Affordable Health Care Act. That is a lie. But by them saying it is because of that if somebody fall out on the street. And so and see, this is the thing. That's for everyone. If somebody get hit by a bus, how are you going to check this thing? Well, we don't want anybody, if you're not legal, to get help. And the government pays for that. They reimburse the hospitals for that. How can you tell somebody get hit by a bus that if they are illegal? You're going to have to find out if they're a legal resident, whether or not they could get help. Because I somebody who I knew I went to school with was fussing. They just like illegal. And I said, well, this is how it works. So if an illegal immigrant, this is how I put it to him. And if a legal immigrant gets hit by a bus and they bleed out on the street, I said, you don't want their life to be saved. I said, but wait, before you answer that question, he's like, he's not a deacon, but he's like a deacon in one of the big mega churches here. I said, wait, before you answer that, and I did hashtag Glen Arden Baptist Church. Now answer that. And you know what that does when you hashtag. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Hashtag Glen Arden Baptist Church. He deleted and blocked me from off his page. I mean, this is my thing. If you are a Christian, but you believe that your stance is true, just let these people bleed out on the street, then you shouldn't care if your church family, your church people see you say that. If what you're saying, you truly believe that is the righteous thing to be. To just let a person die on the street because they're not a legal citizen. And then before he blocked me, he said, well, people who work, they could get up on the state healthcare system and they can buy the insurance and different things like that. I said, those are people who are here on green cards. They're here on work permits. If their job does not provide health care to take out of their check, now they're here on a legal visa. They can go on. I don't know if all states allow it, but our state does. They can go on the state. I forget what you call it thing, and they can buy insurance, and it's cheaper. You see what I'm saying? Than them just trying to get. They can go on and they're paying for it. These are tax-paying legal citizens. They're paying taxes. They don't get, so you got a problem with that? They're paying, these are citizens here on green card work visas, students who are here on student visas. They could go on the thing and get a health care at a cheaper rate and pay for it. You don't want people to have that. They're not getting anything free. They have to pay for it. Their job doesn't provide it. And you don't want them to pay for it, but it's okay for them to pay into your Social Security, but you don't want them to be able to pay for health care. What the hell kind of a Christian are you? That's why you have to shame these. You have to shame them. You are a Christian. You believe in Jesus. How could you say something like that? Everything is just, and it's just awful.
Well, most of the people that's critiquing these people don't know what they're talking about. They never received SNAP. They don't receive. Just like Sarge in the chat room, he just says SNAP is for emergencies. And I'm not going to be going to this long drawn out, but he's lying. It's not only for emergencies. It's not only for emergencies. This country's economy is so bad that they have to provide assistance for low-income people, i.e., in the military. I and my family qualified for food stamps, and we got them in the military. In the military today, these people have jobs, and they qualify for food stamps, and they got them.
Food stamps.
What's wrong with that? I just Googled it. More than 2/3 of the people receiving SNAP benefits have jobs making anywhere from $1,600 a month to $2,500 a month for a family of one, and for a family of four is $3,400. They can make $3,400 and still qualify for fucking food stamps. They're taking food out of the mouths of working people in this damn country. Just because Ronald Reagan gave y'all the image of the welfare mom that's not doing anything and just sitting there receiving food stamps, Bill Clinton came along, I believe it was his era, and put in these work requirements, so people have to work to receive these benefits. Now you're going to,
and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
they're paying taxes.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to feed these youngers whenever the rent is fucking $2,000, and then you got to pay a $400 damn light bill, and then you got to pay your water bill and whatever other stuff that comes along. You're not going to be able to buy food. That's why the government supplements the nutrition in this country, and that's what it's for. It's one of these things to where these people are idiots. I heard people complaining about, well, at the first of the month you fill up your shopping cart and blah blah blah. Listen, when I was a child, the reason that people go to the first of the month and fill up their shopping cart, most likely, and this is not everybody, is because they don't have a fucking car, and they have to catch a ride to the damn store on the first, get everything that they can goddamn get, and then stack it up in their house, and then wait till the next. People don't have the money to go to the store normally like people do. It's just these people are critiquing these people, don't know what the hell they're talking about. And of course,
exactly,
you're going to have those dumbasses that do abuse the system, but that is such a small percentage of it. And then, unfortunately, you get people that'll come on social media bragging about abusing the system, and these are the people that get highlighted. But that is not everybody on social media. Just like I mentioned,
that's not the majority.
Yeah.
It's not the majority. It's not the majority. And these people have to qualify every year. Exactly. They have to qualify every year. And if their circumstances change, then they lower the amount. And if their circumstances change, they cut them off.
Yeah, just like the dumbass in the chat room talking about it's for emergencies. Nigga, you do not know what the hell you talking about.
It's not for emergencies. It's part of it is for emergencies for people who lose their jobs and everything.
Yeah,
but the thing is to help people buy food.
There's a program for emergencies, but because of the income in this country, the food has to be supplemented because we don't make enough money in this country as Americans, and the government recognizes
to pay for stuff.
Okay, who's this?
Because we have.
Okay, it's me because, goddammit, once again you distorted what I said, or perhaps I didn't make it clear when I made my statement in the chat section. So I'd like to clarify it now, if I may.
Well, after I done gave you the facts, of course you're going to clarify.
No, Negro. I specifically addressed what you put in the chat room, and I was referring to the contingency funding established by Congress for SNAP emergencies. What you put up there on the screen defined what families are eligible for emergency SNAP benefits. It has nothing to do with congressional funding because every single item spent for SNAP must be approved by a specific budget appropriation from Congress. That's what I was referring to, the contingency that they have set aside for emergencies.
Okay, so we're talking about people.
I swear, you don't ever listen to me, and it's easy. You make straw man out of my arguments, and it bugs the fuck out of me. Now, I know I didn't make it quite clear in the chat room, so at this one, I'm going to half acknowledge my fault and half acknowledge is yours. But I'm making it clear now.
You wrong.
There is such a thing as emergency SNAP funding. I acknowledge that there is. I didn't say there wasn't.
No, you said it was for SNAP was for.
You I just said. Forget whatever else you think I said.
I know what you want me to read it for you, motherfucker? You don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Read it again. Read it.
You said that
SNAP
is going to be used for emergency.
You can't understand English any goddamn way. And yes, I was incomplete.
You was wrong, nigga.
Read it, God damn it! You just said you got to read it.
You was wrong. There's
read it. Read. You just said you're gonna read it. How about if I read it then? If you don't want to read it,
Go ahead, read it. Well, I don't know what you're talking. I'm talking about reading your post.
Yeah, I'm gonna read what I wrote.
Okay, read what you wrote.
I said this. Is all I said. First thing, I said that screen does not address congressional funding. Then I immediately followed it up with another remark. It only addresses as to what families are eligible for emergency SNAP, which I acknowledge means emergency. I already acknowledge that you can get SNAP in an emergency.
But
Jesus, can you read?
We're not talking about people receiving.
Look, what I'm saying is Congress cannot spend money on SNAP. It can't even spend money on the armed forces without a specific budget appropriation, much less SNAP. So they haven't done it without, they haven't voted on it. Do you not understand? Until they have a vote, the Constitution says the money must be authorized in a specific vote in the budget.
Okay. Are you done?
Jeez, and one more thing I'd like to say. Now that I succinctly got that out of the way. Okay, first of all, Sister Alicia, it would be inhumane and cruel not to give people who are hit by a bus and in danger of dying, no matter what their status, emergency treatment. They should get it. They should have to go to a hospital. If the state has to pay for it, the federal government has to pay for it, whoever got to pay for it, to keep them alive. It should be done. I hope I made that clear. Now, once they recover, their asses should be immediately deported. And I mean right away.
I don't have a problem with that.
I think we can do both.
I don't have a problem with that.
Okay,
I don't have
good.
a problem with that.
We agree. That's all I want to say.
Well, I just want to say the narrative about the medical care for migrants is the reason for the shutdown is a red herring, and it doesn't even apply. I mean, the percentage of people getting care as migrants is minuscule, and there should be no reason why the government is shutting down because of the health care. That's just bullshit. I mean, and they got us talking about
$6 billion in California alone.
Okay.
In one state, it's $6 billion. They've already shown that. I'll give you the audit. They spent $6 billion of state money on illegal aliens. Why? Because they've got fungible funding from the federal government, which frees up their money to spend it on illegal aliens.
Okay, the government shut down. You just say
that's
$6
just
billion.
in California. $6 billion.
No. Listen. Let me ask you this. Let me finish.
$300 billion.
Let me finish.
On illegal aliens' health care,
okay,
and that's what they know about.
Let me finish. The government shut down. You just got $600 billion from fucking California. Where is the goddamn money?
We mean with money? It's not a problem with the money. The problem is the fact Congress hasn't voted to fund it.
Okay,
Do you understand? The money cannot be released until there's a vote in Congress to do it. It doesn't matter what the federal money is. It doesn't matter what it's for. There has to be a vote for the budget.
So
That's in the Constitution, which you never read.
Let me Google this shit, because you always make up shit. You said that
I know
California...
you don't know shit about the Constitution, especially, so no wonder you think they could just do whatever they want willy-nilly, if it pleases you.
You said California saved $600 billion on migrant
No, that's
healthcare.
not what I said. I said six, no zeros. Six.
$6
California
billion.
alone spent it. Nationwide, they estimate the amount of money spent on health care for illegal aliens, and this is what they know they can be reasonably sure of. A reasonable estimate is about $300 billion on illegal aliens' health care. Nationwide, $300 billion. California alone, $6 billion.
No, see, you wouldn't, and the reason that threw me off, because that number is too big for, you know.
I said it's not six. You the one said 600. I said six.
No, I said
You
$6
heard
billion.
600 because you
Even
want to say,
that number.
Dodge, you don't know what you're talking about. You
Well,
probably
you
just
don't.
added in 2 zeros in your addled head.
I don't know why you drag me down these fucking rabbit holes, man.
I'm not taking down a rabbit hole. I'm giving you specific numbers. Do you agree with them or not?
Well, I got the.
I'm not dragging down no rabbit hole. It's either true or it isn't. California, $6 billion on health care for illegals with state funds. They said they spent it with their state funds. Remember, they're a sanctuary state. They get to do that if they want to.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm coming up with is these are projection numbers that you're talking about, and let me see something about California.
Okay, so that means really it's $300 billion, a dozen billion here, there. It's all chump change in the end, right? Well, how much is it really then? If the projected figures that I just gave you are not accurate, what do you think the number might actually be? So we know it's $6 billion in California because that's what the California admits to, because they're proud of it. So what about the other places that are sanctuary states and cities, like Chicago, where we know they spent half $1 billion on illegal health care for illegal aliens in Chicago alone? We know there was $500,000 there. The people in the city were going up to city council, stand up there in front of Let's Go Brandon Johnson, that damn fool, and telling him they hated the idea that he was spending their money on illegal aliens.
Okay, let's get off California.
Yeah,
I pulled up my own. Because I can't argue this because I'd have to get down into what that is. They call it Medi-Cal.
I can't find anything,
but,
so I don't know what the hell he's talking about.
No, I found it, but I'm gonna go by my own state. I pulled up my state. How much does Maryland spend on illegal immigrants' health care? Official cost figures specifically for illegal immigrants' health care in Maryland are not available in published reports. State spending on emergency medical care. That's how Maryland states it. Because that's emergency. Somebody fall off some shit, get hit by a bus, have a heart attack. Okay. Maryland spent, because Maryland is a smaller state, and we have illegals, we have a sanctuary city. The state of Maryland, they said it's estimated, has spent $51 million on the state portion of emergency Medicaid services for undocumented immigrants. A total expenditure for this service in the state of Maryland, they're just talking about, this is just 1 year alone, $118 million. So I see what Sarge is saying, but I cannot argue that because I would have to get deep into it. So I have to fall back. I cannot argue that. But they're calling that emergency medical care. And see, this is the thing, Sarge. A lot of this emergency medical thing, because like in the state where I live, we have a significant size sanctuary city. And I haven't been in a hospital, like hospital. Let me find some wood, some real wood. Knock on that. In a long time. And the last time that I was in a hospital, knock on wood, Um, well, the nearest hospital to me, because it's a new state of the art. It's not too far from me. That they built in my county. New state of the art hospital. So I'm not saying like I had to go, but when I was in a hospital, like visiting someone, I didn't see any immigrants. They go to some of the other hospitals. But the last time I was in one of the county hospitals, this was years and years ago, I went for an emergency, was over in the middle of the morning. And it was full. I don't know whether they were illegals. I don't know what they were. It was some black people, some white people, but it was full. But I would have to say it was more Latino. I will admit that. And that is a problem because we got to fix this thing with more calmer heads. The hospitals were filled because that is the only way that they can get emergency, that's what they call it, health care. And when the hospitals fill up with them, that's where they go to get treatment. And the state, and then the state uses state funds as federal funds to reimburse the hospital. Now, like the nearest hospital to me, they send them over to one of the other, like you could say, more of a state-run place, and those places are filled. And yeah, I see what Sarge is saying. I will admit that. I can't argue the funding of it because I would have to get down deep into it and research it. But this is why, the only thing I can add to it is this is why they need to try to solve this here thing. And cutting Americans off of health care is not the answer. It is not the answer for those who can't afford to have who can't afford medical care, for hurting the seniors by getting rid of the expansion. So when they apply for Medicare, which that's something we should have for our seniors who work their entire lives paying big taxes, then they have to pay more expensive every year, the amount that they pay monthly, all of that's going to go up. And for regular working Americans and those who are here on green card, work permits, and visas paying taxes, so that their premiums is what's going to triple and quadruple if they don't keep the expansion for the Affordable Care Act. So I don't think that American citizens should be punished like this because they can't come together to figure out how to do this. I see what Sarge is saying, but I just don't think that American citizens.
What Sarge is saying is bullshit. Because what if you look at what's going on, they shut the government down because in this bill they've set aside $4 trillion to give to the top 1%, and in this bill, they're trying to release that money to the top 1%. So instead of feeding Americans, instead of providing Americans with affordable health care, regardless of the numbers that Sarge just pulled out of his fucking ass, the money was already set aside to go forward with these programs that already exist. So in other words, Congress can afford to put in the budget to continue for Americans to get the health care that we was already getting and the subsidies that the low income was already getting. The only thing that they're trying to do is snatch money out of those programs and give it to 1% of the goddamn Americans. And all of this bullshit, all this fear mongering that he's doing about migrants receiving $6 billion or whatever the fuck, that is neither here nor there, because let's just say that you're telling the truth about the $6 billion. That money was already allocated, and that would mean that people would not would not be missing meals or whatever, right? So if the problem that you're talking about is the $6 billion for migrants, that is a policy problem. That is a law problem. You go ahead and approve the budget, and then in these systems that you oppose the money being spent on, then you cut those people out. That saves money. Not stopping everybody from fucking eating. That is one of the dumbest things.
That's what I'm saying, Tyrone. Yeah. You can't be punishing American people here who are here on legal work visas, paying Social paying into the Social Security paying big taxes along with everybody else. You can't be punishing Americans because of that. And I don't have the answers. I don't have the answers. It needs
It
to
ain't
be
got shit to
fixed.
do with migrants though. This migrant stuff is fucking
It
bullshit.
does.
It ain't got shit to do. Listen,
Tyrone, it
you
does have
failed.
something to
Listen,
do. That's
sorry,
the
listen.
point.
Let me say
Now,
this
look,
real quick.
I can agree. Wait a minute. I can agree with you about the necessity for spending for American citizens. There's a great deal of leeway to discuss policy on funding health care for American citizens. The problem is that it's compounded by millions of illegal aliens who the
See, there we go.
Democrats have already publicly said, without specifically saying so, that they want to spend money on their illegal alien potential future electorate.
Sarge,
That
what I'm trying to tell
compounds the problem. Wait a minute. You let me finish. You let other people ramble all fucking night.
you.
And I don't
You
ramble.
and Lisa.
I'm like, can I finish? Can I
ahead.
finish?
Go ahead.
I mean, I listen to you. All right, look. The problem is it's compounded by the illegal alien thing in there, that they are spending billions of dollars on illegal aliens. And yes, California used mostly state money. They said they were using state money. They have the state money to use because of the money they're getting from the federal government. They can divert a great deal of it to illegal aliens. It's all but implicitly acknowledged. In fact, when you got people like Maxine Waters being asked about it, when they specifically asked her multiple times, when you say we want health care funding for all, do you mean illegal aliens too? They tried to pin her down on that 5 and 6 times, and every time she said, we want health care spending for all, and she just kept saying it over and over again. She would not specifically say, we would like to cut out the illegal aliens, but we really mean Americans. No, she didn't, because she know goddamn well what the truth is, and she know goddamn well she can't let the cat out the bag.
Okay,
So like
shut
I said,
up.
look, we got a problem with health care funding. Let's spend whatever the problem is on American citizens, which makes it even more important to step up the efforts to deport all of these illegal aliens. They ain't migrants. They're illegal aliens. That's what the law says.
Sarge, listen. Whenever you ask a politician one of those got you questions, like do you want health care for illegal aliens too, that is a got you question. Because according to the law, this country takes care of people who inside of its borders. So if an honest politician answer that question honestly, then they would have to say, yes, the migrants would have to get taken care of in our system. But they can't say that out loud because they got brainwashed motherfuckers. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. Because you don't want to hear the truth. Just like right now, you're not trying to hear this.
I agree with you.
You are not trying to hear this truth right now. But
I agree with what you just said for one.
Exactly. So if you
and you know that's the problem because
will you shut the fuck up? Will you shut the fuck up?
Why is it illegal to spend federal money on Medicaid and Medicare for illegal aliens? Then, if we have an obligation to take care of them, we don't have an obligation to take care of them. It's in the law that says you can't spend the money on them.
I know it hurts.
That's not true.
I
What you just said isn't true, and you just confirmed it.
I know it hurts when these facts come out.
Again, you just said you've been saying all night you can't spend it on them, but you just said a moment ago we have an obligation to spend our money on illegal aliens, and the law specifically precludes you from spending federal money on illegal aliens' health care.
This is why I mute you, motherfucker.
Can I say something?
What I mean about you, man, you can't handle the truth.
Okay, so I'm going to finish with what the fuck I'm saying.
Keep on babbling.
I'm going to finish with what the fuck I'm saying, so shut up. I got you on mute, and unknown caller, I got your line open, but let me say this right here. This country is designed to take care of whoever is inside of its fucking borders. That is a fact. So whenever you ask a politician that question, that got you question, they know politically they cannot answer it correctly because people be taking sound backs and saying, okay, they want to support illegal aliens. So they're being a fucking politician when they avoid the goddamn question, and you just admitted that you know that inside of this country, we are obligated to take care of these people in our medical system, period. So all of this political... Oh, okay, go ahead.
Go ahead, finish, finish, Tyrone, then I'll go after you.
Well, so all of this political bullshit about the migrants, the system already accounts for the migrants. It's just that you've been programmed to use that in your damn talking points. And at the same time, you're hurting Americans by allowing your political side to take away resources from American citizens, which is going to hurt the economy, which is going to starve kids. It's going to people going to be sick. They're not going to be able to access medical care, all because you believe that this small percentage of fucking aliens is screwed of migrants. I didn't mean to call you alien. Is messing up the system, which is not. That's why I dismiss it so easily, because this system has been accounting for these people decades. It hasn't broke the goddamn system, so it's bullshit. So go ahead, Elisa. Let me see who this caller is. Who's this caller?
Okay, go ahead.
Who is this again?
Okay.
Mace.
All right, so go ahead, Elisa, and then Mace.
Now, I was just going to say real quick, if Sarge is still here,
He's still
I
here.
was reading on a little further from a study they did in the Federation for American Immigration, the FAIR Act, in the state of Maryland from 2017 to 2023. And I ain't going to get into the numbers because they was talking about per year for the state of Maryland. But per year, what was estimated that the state of Maryland spent annually on illegal immigration costs, which is including health care. It needs to be fixed. That's the only thing, because I didn't know it was that ungodly amount of money. And when they're only getting, I'm not doing this. I'm not saying I'm turning, but the problem is because I got to get deep down into this. I just saw a number, and when the senior citizens in our state, they're giving them $10 and $15 a month now to get first. I mean, so the system got to be fixed. We need to fix it, but punishing Americans, it does need to be fixed. I will admit that. And I'm sorry, Tyrone, I gotta agree. It was
Well, no,
Sarge
listen,
probably don't want it to be
I'm
fixed.
not saying that the immigration problem and the money that the
It
government
gotta be
gives
fixed.
it
Gotta be fixed.
I'm not saying that it's not an issue. What I am saying is that issue can be resolved through policy. If you're saying that if you see them receiving funding, then that funding can be stopped through policy. You don't have to stop. You don't have to stop everybody's SNAP or cause everybody's
healthcare.
You don't have to cause everybody healthcare prices to rise in order to address that issue that you're talking about.
Yeah, so because I saw that, I'm just gonna say it. That $2.4 billion from Maryland alone, and the amount of taxes we pay here in this little old state, it's got to be fixed. It has to be fixed. Don't punish everybody for something that needs fixing. And
yeah,
it has
because
to be
if you think about it, that
correct policy.
If you think about it, that $2.4 billion that you've seen, right? Somebody at some point in time allocated that money for that reason. What I'm saying is the same way that they allocated it is the same way they could take it out of there. You don't have to close the government down to do that shit.
Can I speak now, Tyrone?
Oh, what's up, Mace?
Oh, well, the money was allocated by Biden administration. It's just like that bridge just over there in Maryland was allocated for the money for the bridge. Who took it away? So they destroyed the papers that it was already allocated. A whole lot of stuff been allocated, but it's not being given to. That's why 25 states are suing the administration now. So they always talking about the illegals. Is the illegals doing anything to help this country? Are they putting money into this country to help the people here?
Oh, and yeah, billions of dollars. Billions of dollars.
And how much money? They never talk about how much money that's being allocated from their pockets to go to this country and where it is happening out here. They always say the legals got to do Medicaid. The legals, if they get Medicaid and you don't like it, that's why you got the Congress up there. And then you got the people that hired them and put them over here. They don't never blame them. And
that's
you hear these crazy.
That's a good point.
And you hear these crazy people on their TV every day. So who fault it is? It's not those people's fault because these people lost their jobs. And it's not their fault because they want to fire people because the government is shut down. So if he could take his cell phone up there and open up the house, the government won't be shut down. They shut it down because of this stupidness. And then you got these my special black people on here with this rhetoric. I don't agree with nothing you got to say, Sarge. Never will, because I don't respect you. And so, and you look at it that way, I would like to know for him to come up with the number that they are benefiting being in this country, and what are they giving out to this country by working here.
Excellent point.
The whole thing.
Excellent point.
Well, I'm just saying it's not about those numbers. It's about the administration actions. It's closing and shutting down and taking away resources from people for no goddamn reason. Especially whenever they're waiting on a $4 trillion tax cut for 1% of the damn country. They allocated money for that, and they allocated money to send money to Argentina. They gave money to Argentina, and it's just that they have the resources. The reason that they got the government shut down right now is they're trying to agitate people in this country so they can use the military force. And it's my belief that they're striving to enact martial law so Donald Trump can stay in that goddamn White House. So he can stay in that White House, because there's no way in the hell that you're building a building bigger than the goddamn White House and you plan on leaving in 2.5 years. That just don't make no goddamn sense with me. And because Sarge is a goddamn cult following goddamn zombie, he don't give a shit about tyranny. He's living in tyranny right now, and he don't care. He's on here to defend fucking tyranny and pedophiles. Your line is open, Sarge.
He's giving our tax dollars to other countries, not giving the people over here anything, and they can worry about the immigrants that's over here, but he's going outside of the country giving stuff to immigrants. And taking stuff from immigrants. But what is the American people getting? And in this clean bill, what's in the clean? What are they going to do with the money out of the clean bill? They need more money to throw over somewhere else, not here.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. He's trying to start. That's why he's got military on the streets. That's why he's trying to agitate people. That's why he's funding ICE, because he's trying to ramp it up to where he can enact martial law. I know that sounds extreme, but I've said other extreme things that Trump has done, which has came to fruition, which is him violating the Constitution and breaking the damn laws in this country and not giving a shit. So I believe with this military, this funding of ICE, him building that damn building in Washington, tearing up the goddamn White House, these people are planning on and gerrymandering the fucking election. These people are planning on staying here. They're entrenching themselves to destroy this goddamn democracy. And people are being a little slow on the trigger right now to recognize what the hell going on.
Well, let me give Sarge something else to think about what happened today. One of his close friends, just like the first lawyer he had, the man that, when he testified, came out with evidence of that in New York. He going to prison, but he done gave some evidence out that somebody told a lie about all this stuff that they were in and out for. So he'll hear about it next week, if not tomorrow. And I want to hear his opinion on it.
Who you talking about?
We don't want to waste our time talking about the illegals over here getting medical, because they deserve it. They're working over here in the fields and everywhere else, and the hotels and everything else, cleaning up. Their money is going somewhere in this economy too.
Well, see, that's why I ignore this conversation when Sarge calling here talking about how much the immigrants get. It's not about the immigrants. They making you. They making you look this. They making you look over here while they do other shit. And Sarge and them has failed for that shit. Hook, line, and sinker. That's all the hell they know how to use it. They talking points.
Well, I want my special black people to get it together, because we don't care what they think, because they're not fooling anybody. So waking up, open your eyes and look around. While they got you pointing one way, you need to look both ways. And
yeah, they got black people so damn dumb that they don't want to participate in the election system no more. You know, you're on a Democratic plantation, and the Democrats ain't never did nothing for us, and all this kind of shit. I
want him to tell us about the CFO and what happened in New York at the hearing. I bet you're going to run from it, but I want him to have a discussion about the truth that was always a lie, and the truth just came out. So they gave him 5 years.
What truth you talking about hearing?
You already heard about it. The CFO.
What hearing?
So, the hearing they had in New York.
For who? Letitia James?
Trump CFO got 5 years.
Oh.
They're going to sell his island. So he's spilling the bean. And he's been with his father and up to Trump. So I bet you next week they're going to blame Jasmine Crockett And all of those people in the Democratic Party are going to be calling their names and stuff. Oh, they just doing this. It's going to come out. But
Alan Weisselberg?
Yes.
Alan Weisselberg, yeah.
He was sentenced. But we don't want to hear about that and know nothing about it. But it's coming up. And we want to sit here and waste time talking about some illegals. Let them illegals, the people that own them, they got them working for them, let them take care of that problem because it has no problem to do with the government being shut down. And these empty papers they come up and show us every day. And then Ted Cruz and his crazy self come up with how many illegals getting medical and how many Americans getting medical and how many Native Americans and all this mess. And he told a lie about that too. And like I say, a lie will travel. The truth will stay in one place. So y'all have a good one.
All righty. But yeah, all of this stuff about migrants and all this kind of stuff, that it's all bullshit. So Donald Trump can manipulate this democracy the way that he have been right in front of our eyes. And they got us talking about aliens and all this kind of bullshit. You know, if it's a migrant problem, then handle that migrant issue. You shouldn't have to affect other Americans while you're handling
it affects everybody.
Yeah.
It needs to be handled. I don't have any answers, but it needs to be fixed. But it's not, they're not punishing, but the thing is, they're not punishing everybody just to fix the illegal immigrants. They're punishing everybody to steal all the money to get it to the top. That's basically
that's what they're doing.
That was the plan. That's the plan. That's the plan. It's not because they can't figure out what to do. It's not that. This was intended to do. This was in part of Project 2025. Starve the people out. Just make them worker bees and have some people on the top. Turn the United States into a white ethno state and all of that. So.
Well, yeah, that's why he got the Zuckerbergs and the Bezos and hanging out with the Saudis, hanging out with that dude from Argentina. These people are stealing money. They're fucking robber barons, and these people like Sarge are so convinced that they're acting in their interest that he's blind. Sarge is literally blind to what the fuck going on as this democracy that he fought for is being ripped apart at the damn seams. And it's crazy to me. I'm like, Jesus Christ, these people can't see this shit? The fuck?
So, I mean, that's all it is. They're taking everything from everybody and giving it to the... So unless this is the thing that I will never understand. Unless you're part of the top, you're part of that 1%, 2%, whatever the amount is. Why are you championing that? That makes no sense. It makes no sense. You're just working for a handful of people. That makes no sense. And for them to do, and somebody had brought up the other day, whatever happened to Trump's phone? And everybody was saying that was a grift.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, what happened? What happened to that? It was a grift because all you got to do is Google it. They tell you exactly what happened to that.
Well, everything that he does is a grift. His fucking sneakers, his Bitcoin, all of that shit is a grift. The Bible, all of that stuff.
Everything is a grift.
Yeah. I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine if Barack Obama would have showed a damn T-shirt out of the White House. How these people would have freaked the fuck out. That it's a violation it's a violation of a law for him to be doing that.
I saw a couple of videos of some stupid black TikTokers. I'm sure they're being paid. And they was talking about, because when Barack Obama was president, they were talking about he wanted a tennis court because they didn't play tennis. I don't know if it was being used. They had a basketball court, but he wanted a full, a full court, not just a half a court. He wanted a full court. I seen
those little reports, but that's bullshit.
Everybody is all upset about Trump and his $300 million ballroom, but Barack Obama spent $350 million on a basketball court.
No, he did not. Let me pull up this
I,
basketball court for
no, you don't have to put. I'll just tell you exactly what it was. Everybody can go look if they want to. No, they said it cost upwards of $5,000, and the only thing that he did, he had them paint over the tennis court, and guess what? And paid the money so when he's gone, if they want to strip the paint up in the tennis court and turn it back to just a half court in the tennis court, they could go ahead. And he paid for that himself.
Yeah, just
he paid for that himself.
Look at this little piece of property. I wouldn't have paid $5,000. I wouldn't have paid $5,000 for it, but he didn't drive no damn bulldozer through the goddamn White House. He just put up a damn goal, basically.
But the thing is, the reason why it cost so much, because I guess he was trying to preserve the tennis court that was underneath.
I mean,
to pay to have them paint it and do it right, and when they leave, the money is there. That if you want to strip it back up to the tennis court, you could go ahead on and do that. So that's why it cost $5,000.
I get why the $5,000.
Why it cost up to $5,000. Some people say $2,000. Some of the estimates was $5,000, but $5,000. But he paid for that himself. He paid for it, and so that it could be done right, and you could turn it back to the tennis court if you want to. And you have some Negroes on here. You know they're being paid. Some of $350 million. Do you all know how much a sports arena costs? And y'all sitting up here with this stupid lie. And that's what that side does. They try to create smoke screens. They push propaganda and lies. Now, anybody with a brain know a basketball court, if it's so high you have it done, it might cost you, or I don't know how much a basketball court, but they said that he paid $5,000. They paid upwards. Some say $2,000, some say $5,000. That's why I just went with $5,000. But he paid the money himself out of his own pocket.
Yeah, he didn't have that. He didn't have no renovation did like Trump. Nowhere near it.
But the White House, where they got that number from, the $350 million, there was renovation done on, but the basketball court, it was a full basketball court. He paid for that himself. But there was like $300-something million worth of renovations done while he was president. There was. But they left out George W. Bush had got approval from the Congress and the Senate because the White House and the surrounding buildings and the security things that they had, it needed repair, it needed overall, it needed renovations. George W. Bush got the House to go ahead and give approval to have all that work done because the White House had needed it done, and they gave the approval. But he was leaving office, but he still had got the approval for it. And when Barack Obama became president, I guess they were like, well, what about the renovations? They got this approval in the House and Senate, so we're going to do this work. And he signed off on it and said, yeah, y'all go ahead and do the work.
Yeah, I mean, but that's a cute thing that you point out there is that they getting authorization and approvals through Congress for that funding.
Yeah.
And then, but Trump ain't got approval for shit. He just bulldozed the damn White House, and then he strong on fucking donors to pay for it. So that means that he's in debt with people, and he owe people favors for giving him money to pay for shit. This dude is corrupt. Yeah.
And Bush got approval for that and got the money set aside for that. And when Barack came in, okay, what about this renovations and stuff we're supposed to be doing around this White House and the surrounding buildings? And it already been approved and it went through. So he signed off on it. Well, yeah, go ahead and do it. You see the lies that they tell.
Yeah.
And I saw when they was putting out this president did this president, and they had Barack Obama down there with the renovations and he paid for the basketball court. But all those renovations, Bush got the approval for that. And all he did was sign off to give them to go ahead and y'all get it started. That's the only thing he did. You see the lies they tell? The lies they tell.
Yeah,
and Bush did it right.
I don't know what's next for this country, and I'm just saying the black people need to watch out. I don't know exactly how it's going to come, but I mean, we can see some of it now with the racism, with the firing of black people. So I don't know what's going to happen, but these people are not playing.
But it's not just us. Let's take part of the target off and spread the target around a little bit. It's not just black people that's going through hell. It's a lot of people going through hell. What things it's going to turn into for us? We just can't get the street and give them what they want. We have to do more community organizing, community based, and looking out for one another. That's all I got. But it's not just us that has the target. It's not just us. So let's spread that target around a little bit better. It's
well, no,
better.
I'm gonna stay straight target on black people because I will vote for Donald Trump. I ain't thinking about them damn people. them damn Asians don't care about black people.
They brought it down on themselves. But I'm just saying the overall target isn't just on us. So I'm gonna spread the target around better.
I'm worried about them targeting.
That's who I'm worried about. I'm worried about us and us only. But I'm just spreading the target around. That's all. I'm worried about us and me and mine and our people. That's who I have first and foremost. But when it comes to the target, spread it out a little bit. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't know where we're gonna end up at, but it ain't looking good.
Well, I don't know where Americans is gonna end up, but it's not looking good. I'm not gonna put it all on us. American citizens, unless you are rich or wealthy, I'm not sure what's going to happen to the middle class. It's going to be no more. It's going to be working, and there's going to be people at the top. I'm going to say it's not going to be that.
But you know what?
I'm going to say somehow we're going to have to change it.
I with all this turmoil going on, what I noticed down here in Myrtle Beach is that these white people ain't stopped building shit. They haven't stopped buying houses. I don't know where this money is coming from. They're building up these little gentrified areas all over the place down here. And I'm thinking if the
they're doing it here. They're doing it here too.
And I'm
black
thinking
people still buying houses and cars and things like that because they haven't really seen it or it has affected them. But everyone,
what I'm saying is there's a stream of
you're not rich.
There's a stream of income. There's a stream of income that white Americans is constantly getting. I don't know, and this is my conspiracy. They're in the positions to receive the stream of income. These houses down here are not cheap, and they live in lavishly in these gated communities. Construction is constantly going on, and I'm like, yeah, I'm like, what the fuck? So I don't know how the system works, but these people are constantly getting money, and they're getting paid. But it's not black people; it's just white people able to build up these big ass houses down here constantly. Construction have not stopped down here.
Construction hasn't stopped here either. It hasn't stopped here either. And the black folks are still in the gated communities. They still got the things. It's still all over. It hasn't come knocking at everybody's door yet. And a lot of these people, it depends upon what they do, because in the area that I live in, I see it every day. But it hasn't really affected them. But it will. It's affected everybody because you're paying for more in the store. Mm-hmm. But really affecting people, a lot of people are gonna wake up. Not more people, even some rich Dems, not rich, but doing very well Dems. It's gonna affect them. It's gonna affect everybody. And a lot of people who consider themselves liberal, but they have great jobs, they have this, they have that. They still have not woken up. They still have not really woken up to see what's going on. And it's not just us. It's white. It's some of the Latinos. It's white, Latinos, Asians, East Asians, all of them. Everybody. And they will. They're paying more for things in the store, and they're not really paying attention to that. But it's going to affect everybody. Construction hasn't stopped that has stopped here. I have a development going up the street, right up the street from here, and the average condo is $500,000. But no, it's going to affect it's going to affect everyone. So I'm
I mean,
curious to
I
see.
couldn't afford to live in these houses that they building now. There's no way in the world I could afford to live in these houses that they
Not
building now.
many can.
Yeah.
Not many can. And you just have to open your eyes and see what it is. America, the one we knew, like you said, is gone. And we're going to have to see what we're going to have to do moving in the future. And people are getting worse. It's getting worse and it's worse every time you go online and you look in to see all these companies is laying off 40,000 here, 50, 70 people. Amazon and Comcast, Comcast and UPS, and these are just the latest ones that I've seen. And I mean, just in the thousands that they're laying off. And people better pay attention when you keep seeing these articles of these industries laying off thousands and thousands. And Amazon said they're laying off. What was the amount Amazon said they laying off? It was a ridiculous amount. Let me see. Amazon layoffs. When I saw that, I got shook. Amazon.
Yeah, and at the same time, I mean, these people get ready to lose their food. And like I know you mentioned it earlier. Now, if people start acting foolish, I hope they don't. I really hope they don't. But I can understand that. That people. I don't know. They got to feed their kids some kind of way.
Yeah, they said Amazon. They're in the process of cutting 14,000 jobs and counting. And UPS announced I think 40,000 jobs. I think I got the Amazon number wrong. It was much more than that.
They probably replacing those people with robots.
Amazon is replacing them all with AI. They said that Amazon. Let me see, AI. When that number came out, it was scary to hear that AI layoffs. Let me see if we get the right thing. They laid off 14. They're starting with 14,000 corporate jobs, and then they're going to also lay off 4% of the workforce. It's a lot of people. It's a lot of jobs. And when
that corporate stuff is probably going to be automated. Because AI is smart.
It's AI.
You can actually have a conversation with AI, and it could figure out simple tasks and manipulate the switchboard to get you where you need to go for solutions. So that's probably what that corporate stuff is.
Yeah, but they talking about it's going to come up the warehouses and stuff too. A lot of that is going on, and a lot of medical jobs and stuff like that, and the GDP. And America's GDP, gross GDP, they said the gains that we've had in the past year or two, that's all the AI bubble.
Mm-hmm.
It's the AI bubble that caused the GDP to look like we had some growth. It's because of the AI bubble. And a lot of it is overpromising, and a lot of it is, and eventually they said that the bubble is going to burst. And we're going to be in some serious trouble because of this AI. Not only that it's taking all the jobs, but the GDP, they said that's the growth that we've had over the past couple of years is because of that. And a lot of it is overpromising. And because of the Trump administration, if you keep them in there, they're not going to do anything because the rich people at the top want it. They're not going to do any type of regulations on that to not wipe out all the jobs for the working people. And in the medical field, AI is going to start, it's going to get up in that and start wiping out a lot of jobs too. Because I think, I'm not even going to get into that, but Chinese, and their creation, it's going to be able to do the jobs that brains used to be able to do, your brain. And it's going to wipe out a lot of jobs in the medical industry. It's just gonna, and a lot of hotel jobs, just hospitality, AI. And if the government is not willing to put regulations on that, and we're gonna be a sad sack sitting up here. And that's when that's when the people, like you say, I was talking about the housing building and the boom and people are still, that's when it's gonna come for their shit. So it's just, but we need a
Well,
government that is willing to put regulations on that.
well, what I see is there's a revenue path that goes directly to white Americans, and I
I
don't.
don't think so.
Well, it's
I
got
don't
to
think
be.
so.
It's got to be because I mean they paying these damn they buying these damn houses down here, and this is ain't nothing but white people down here
It,
buying these damn houses.
it hasn't reached them, but AI is gonna take care of that. And a lot of these people aren't thinking. A lot of our people aren't thinking about this. A lot of poor people aren't really thinking. But it's going to touch them. All of these fields that AI is going to devastate, so all this stuff we're talking about, it's going to reach them too. Going to reach them too. All of the jobs that the brainiacs, the college educated, this, that, it's going to wipe out a lot of that. So that's what the whole thing with AI, with corporate jobs. You can't say it's just corporate. That's where the brains are at. And the people who are doing this stuff. AI is white. So if it's about to wipe that out, it's going to wipe out a lot of the medical field. It's going to wipe out a lot of these different jobs that the people who, like you, as you said,
Hmm.
has some type of an income source coming in. It's going to wipe their jobs out too. So that's why when I heard that Amazon was laying off a lot of corporate, was like, there you go. AI is white. It's already coming for the corporate jobs and the top jobs, the brainiac jobs. And then when I heard what they get ready to put in the thing for the medical industry, all of these brains and scientists and stuff, they don't need them no more. They're not gonna need them anymore.
Well, they're gonna have some humans stuck around doing something, but it's not gonna be a lot.
Well, you gotta have, of course, you gotta have humans to make sure the things is doing. But a lot of the jobs that people were doing, the brainiacs, they're not gonna need them anymore. They're not gonna need them anymore.
Yeah,
So
you're
that's why it
absolutely right
scared
about
me to
that.
hear that Amazon wiping out these corporate jobs. It's the brainiacs. They're getting rid of them.
Yeah,
And
they
that's what a
feed.
lot of companies are doing. UPS and all some of these other ones that I named. Target. I think they said they're doing some, I forget how many thousands of jobs on their corporate level. That's AI. Because AI is taking over them jobs. So that's the thing that scared the hell out of me. Because of course they're gonna wipe out the lower level. But when you start hearing about them corporate jobs, they're coming for people at the top. So that's when those people are going to be affected. That's what I was sort of talking about. And as I pay attention to all of that, what type of jobs are they talking about? Are they talking about customer services? They're going to wipe all that out. But when you start hearing about corporate jobs going, that's scary.
Well, yeah, I guess they don't need humans no more as much.
You got to pay attention to what kind of jobs that they're coming for currently. And
So
that's the
what's
problem.
going to happen when they put all these people out of work? Do they just want a country full of people that is just starving? I don't understand what the goal is here.
Like, you hear people keep saying the second Gilded Age. That's where we're at right now. Because I keep saying that, the second Gilded Age. This is where we are. Where everything was so unequal. And it was just the people at the top and everybody at the bottom was messing around trying to pinch. You get pennies. Because they're talking about getting rid of delivery. Because they can do that with what? Come on. Delivery drivers for Amazon. They're
Yeah,
trying to get that going with, what you call those things? You have one.
a drone. Yeah, I looked at
A
a
drone.
video the other day, and they got in Atlanta. They got the driverless cars, and then they've got
Uh-huh.
the robots going up and down the streets making deliveries.
Yep.
So I'm like,
Getting rid of
Jesus
that
Christ,
too.
they moving into the future.
So it's not just the people at the bottom. Now they're coming for the corporate jobs. So we're in the second Gilded Age, and it's not to get worse. And by the time we get all the way there, where everybody's just like we're talking about, I can't think of that movie. Where the people Hunger Games, and they had people living in certain,
Yeah.
zones. Yeah,
Yeah,
if
I
they
mean that's
don't put
the,
if they don't put regulations on this stuff, that's where we're going to end up at. And people said, well, you're just, being hyperbolic. No. You got to look at the jobs that they're getting rid of, not just the people at the bottom. They're coming after the ones at the top, too.
I wish I could just like set up some type of condition where black people can contribute to it and we could wall ourselves off and use our own
Hmm.
economics to maintain our own little system. Who's this unknown caller?
This is Miss Lady. Hello.
What's up, Miss Lady?
Hey, Miss Lady.
Hello. Well, you know Robert Reich, he was Clinton's Secretary of Labor. He's economics professor. He just made. I just saw he had some statements on social media. He said Amazon just announced 14,000 layoffs. The CEO made over 40 million last year. UPS announced 48,000 layoffs. Its CEO made over 24 million last year. Intel announced 20,000 layoffs. Its new CEO's pay package is valued at nearly 69 million. This is what I mean when I say the system is rigged. So, yeah, it's very much rigged. And as you've been talking about AI, replacing a lot of jobs. Yeah, Amazon's laying off a lot of management positions, a lot of them. That's what a lot of those are. But then I'm starting to, who do they expect to buy their services and products if people aren't working?
Right, that's the point. Somebody got to buy the stuff.
I mean, is it that it's going to be, it reminds me of that movie that, what's his name? Matt Damon made, where they're living on some kind of out there in outer space on their own. It's not a planet, but it's.
I know what movie you're talking about. I can't think of the name of it. I saw that.
And down here was just a horrible mess with a very authoritarian police force. If you did anything that they didn't like, they threw you in prison, in jail. It was people were scrambling and trying to black market stuff, trying to make it. They didn't have good health care. They had nothing. It was just a horrible police force, authoritarian police force that was very brutal. And people were starving and scraping, and they out there living in La La Land. It's beautiful where they living out there on that space station or wherever that was. They were out there. But, yeah, it's like... if this is going to be globalized and nobody can buy anything because they're not working, eventually they're not going to be around either.
Yeah, nope.
I guess they'll keep a small percentage of things functional for themselves. But it just makes no sense to me.
I agree. That's what you keep saying. You still have to have somebody to be able to work, and however but that is what the plan is, and that's what they're doing. That's the plan, and I don't see why people don't get it. When people keep saying we're in the second Gilded Age, and boy, do they plan to pull one over on us.
It surpasses that first one, and
it's
far surpasses it.
On steroids.
But did you hear that they build in I think it's in the Mormons in Utah. They building some like camps or something. They said they're gonna probably round up homeless people and put them to work for free out there. I don't know what they're supposed to be doing in Utah.
That's crazy.
And then they said there's been a lot of car payments are so expensive nowadays. that there's been a surge in people not paying their car payment.
Yeah, I don't know where this, I don't know where they going. I don't know where we headed. I don't know what the plan is. Well, all I know is they don't look
That's
like they
their.
give a shit. They don't give a shit about people anymore. They don't care about people.
No,
They
we
don't care
know
about
what, but they
babies.
never did. Well, Tyrone, they never did, and that's for one thing. They want you to have babies so you can be worker bees. That's it. And then everybody has probably never noticed AI is causing our utility bills to be higher. Y'all hear about all of those things that Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk and them are building, like in Louisiana. They're building a huge, they said something in Louisiana, they bought up the land. Something about as big as, like, just say Manhattan, the city of Manhattan.
Yeah, they
It's,
have to build those. They have to build those buildings for those large language models that run AI, because AI have to do a lot of
yeah,
processing.
And it's
it
using
uses
a
up
lot of
so much
electricity, and they're not paying for it. The customers,
They-
we're
and they-
paying for all that
paying
electricity
for
that
it.
they're using in our bills.
And it's sucking up it's sucking up all the natural drinking water, sucking up all the water. And I was
And
like,
it's a lot of pollution too. A lot of pollution from all that.
So I don't see why people don't see what's happening.
I think
I don't see how those people. I mean, I know I know they're evil, but I don't see how they can wake up tomorrow and know that there's going to be people that's not going to be able to get any food on the first. These people are fucking evil.
Well, did you see that toast lady that was on social media? She
Yeah,
was eating burnt toast.
I see her eating the toast. Yeah, you're right.
Okay. Well, they
What
tracked her down.
What'd you
She
do with your
lost
food
her
stamp
job,
last
and
month?
then they say the government took her kids from her. She's a cruel person. She's a cruel person.
But that's
an
example of the
and a lot
mindset
of
of
them are
those
like
people.
that. They just cruel and they crazy. And they say she lived with her grandmother. I don't know. And then that government took her kids. She's a mess.
That was crazy.
I don't know.
Just sit up there and eat her. What did she have?
That burnt toast.
Peanut butter and butter toast. Is that what she had? She said peanut butter.
Peanut butter with butter spread on toast.
What the hell? And she
but
was just...
you know, they got people responding, and they sitting up there eating, looking at the camera too, and they tearing her up. It's funny.
I think she got fired or something, didn't she?
She did.
Yeah, she got fired.
But the response is they got white people, black people, Hispanic people looking at the camera, and they got a piece of toast, some bread, and they're eating it, and they really mocking her. But allegedly, they're going to limit asylum seekers to 7,500 a year beginning next year for the country. 7,500, and the majority are going to be for South Africans.
7,500 what?
Asylum seekers.
Oh.
And they're going to be mainly for South Africans, allegedly.
That's racist.
So versus maybe like 100,000 a year, it's down to 7,500.
Well, that tells you that this country racist, because they want white South Africans, migrants, but they're trying to get rid of the people of color migrants.
But they can be racist all they want to be. But the regular white America is going to be in the same boat as the rest of us. That's why I keep saying, take the target off completely from all of our backs. White people is going through that in them states where they building them big things for AI. And sucking up all the natural drinking water, the resources. And you got dumb people sitting back acting like trying to be black magic. That is just so stupid. Y'all not paying attention to what's going on. And this is not being hyperbolic and conspiracy theories. They're building this stuff.
Do you think some of those men that played football, like when they were young, all through, Pee Wee or whatever, in high school, and maybe that they got CTE going on about now?
Yeah.
I believe some of them got CTE, and it could be mild, and they're just not diagnosed. Because and I just think they just don't make any sense, and they're not thinking correctly. I think
I
some
agree
of
with
them
that.
are.
And then we got a lot of dumb people here too. We have a lot, and in our community, it's the CTE. We have a lot of dumb people, and we have a lot of self-hating people too. And I get the
Yeah, they
self-hate
will have a
because
lot of self-hate, and they have most themselves. Like
Mhm.
Dick Gregory said, old thing, the girl he wanted to take to prom refused to go with him, and he been mad ever since.
it's stay mad, stay mad. Ever since that somebody in eighth grade, and you just stay mad. And I hate to say it, Tyrone, I see all these black men on that you go on YouTube, they gathered up all these TikTok videos, and all these black men is happy that the women not gonna be able to feed their children. I mean, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, I see
Is
that
your
too.
skin is your skin white? Do you have money in the bank? No.
And then
Is
I
your
seen
skin?
some of
Are
them
you
getting on
white?
here. I don't know what they call themselves doing, but they come on here like wagging their finger, talking about, well, y'all don't do nothing, but whenever you get your food stamps, you go change it out for cash. You should be keeping your cash. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Even saying anything like that? You know, it's just
I mean, why do
Those are
you
losers. They're
again?
losers, and they're upset with their lives. They made the worst choices. They're miserable and unhappy, and they want the black woman to be miserable, and they don't care nothing
Mm-hmm.
about the children, so they can be
They're kidding
miserable
about their
too.
kids.
These are the
They're
most
mad because they gotta pay
immature,
child support. Mm-hmm.
retarded, spiritually deficient
Self-hate,
males.
self-hate,
Yeah, self-hating,
self-hate.
and they hate everybody else. They got a smile on their face and have a job because they done messed up.
yeah, but
And
they mad with the wrong people, right? Because if these people are getting food stamps, they had to go through an application process to qualify for the food stamps. So they're not doing anything illegal. The government said that you're authorized this and you're receiving it. So if you should be mad with anybody, you should be mad with the government for giving it to them. But they want to point the finger at the people that needs the help, which is crazy to
well,
me.
yeah, it's easy because they're vulnerable population, marginalized people. It's easy to bully and pounce on them. They're punks. They're not going to go after the people making them decisions. Oh no,
Yeah.
they're
No,
punks.
no.
Yeah,
They're
because if you
cowards
They
getting
and
just
food
punks.
mad.
stamps, it ain't like
They,
you just walked up there and
they
took
just
the food stamps. I mean, you got to qualify for it. There's a whole system put in place to qualify people.
but they just mad
But
because they
it
gotta
ain't
pay
about
child
that. It's
support.
And
about
then,
It's
and then,
not
like I
about
said
that.
earlier,
making
2/3 of the
the other
people on
people are
food stamps
miserable.
actually have jobs. They're actually working. You got to have
A
money.
lot of disabled people get it too,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
a lot of veterans
yep.
with
Senior
stress.
senior
A lot of
citizens
people
who
working
who, are,
two
who get
jobs they
Social
can't afford it.
Security.
Yeah.
That's who's getting it. That's who the bulk of the people that's getting it. But a lot of these men that's carrying on, they just mad because they gotta pay. They're like, she put me on child support. And why
And
you
they
even saying that?
$50 a week, and they upset about it.
Thank you. And some of them paying $10 a week because they don't want to pay that. They don't want to give their children nothing. They don't want to pay them anything. If that's them, they're losers. That's not all black men, but the ones who do like that, they're losers. It's not all. It's not even the
you know what?
majority.
I knew someone that when he was working, he was sometimes in between jobs. He had stopped paying child support because it's expensive to live out here, and he owed
Yes.
thousands of dollars. But then he was able to get it erased eventually because he was never going to be able to pay it. And somehow, I don't know, I wasn't involved in it, but he said, "Oh, the judge said I didn't have to pay it. I'm free now." I'm like, I said, all them years you didn't pay your child support.
He's
But
free.
you know,
But somebody had to take care of those kids. Somebody, the mother, the state, somebody had to take care of those kids. You just didn't. You ended up not having to. Now, I'm all for giving somebody a break, And if they need help out, get assistance and different things like that to help them out. But when you have these children, you have to take care of them or don't have them.
No, it's a woman's fault for getting pregnant. Okay, it's her
Just
fault
don't
for
have
everything.
them.
It's a black woman's fault for everything that's wrong in the world.
No, so I knew I didn't want to take care of children, so I didn't have them. And I'm not going to have them.
Prevented
That's what you do. You
themselves
don't
from
have
having
them.
children if they wanted to. They could have worn
Don't have
2 condoms. They could have
2
been
condoms.
abstinent. They could have gotten a
Get 'em a
vasectomy. If they wanted to
vasectomy.
prevent it, they could have.
It could have been prevented. It could have been prevented. But and I get it. For marginalized people, we all know our history. And you have to have somebody to blame, but you're not going to go pop off in that white man's face when
No.
he's the one to blame. You pop off in the easiest person, the lowest hanging fruit, and that's the woman and the children. Then you have some women who do it too. So everybody pop off at the lowest hanging fruit. You ain't gonna go in the face of the people who made up the system. That's why things are the way they are. You won't pop off on them.
It's like,
You
they're
won't.
on the job and they got an awful manager. They think they're man, and they talk to them disrespectfully, or they don't treat them fairly on the job. Then they upset and they come home
And beat the
they
wife.
take it out on
Beat
the
their
wife.
wife.
They kick the dog and don't have, and glare at the kids. Okay, and they got to tiptoe around them.
And white men do that too. When they have the white men, working white men, they've done that too. When they boss treats them like crap, and they have to go through this or that. And when they go home, they go home, they take it out, beat the wife, slap the children, drink, and kick the kids. So all men in all societies do that. They all do that. So that's not just a us thing. Everybody
But they're
does
not gonna
that.
go to that Mr. Boss Man and
And
Mr.
say
Owner of
that.
the company and act crazy and talk crazy and act crazy. Okay, they know better.
They go home and take it out on the family. And that's all men of every ethnicity, every race, races, everybody. They all do that. Instead of taking it out on
Guess what? And they
the
want
one
to be
who
able to do that even more, because cruelty is the point with a lot of them. They want to take away birth control. So now the women the wives going to get pregnant, and they can't get abortions, and they got it, and now AI done taken a lot of the jobs, and they keep decreasing the salaries and taking away benefits. People gonna be stressed and angry. She don't have the resources to move, and now she really gonna be abused. Her and the children.
And that's what I don't get, because I saw this white guy had made a video, and he was like, all of these white men out here, he's talking about his own people. Y'all want these trad wives, but the kids at home, and you all are the boss, knowing you can't afford that. And I don't get that. You can't afford a trad wife. She has to work too. But that's what you want. You want her to have babies, stay home, no birth control, no this, no that, no education. You can't afford to take care of her and all of these kids on your own. And
they living in fantasy land.
They're living in a fantasy. You can't. You just want to knock her back, but you can't afford to do and to take care of and support what you want. Then they say, well, if the women wasn't in the workplace, they would have all the jobs. They intended to get rid of them jobs. You can't support that. You can't support these women. So wouldn't it be better to have her working and y'all do it together? No, I just don't understand. I don't understand the thinking and the mind. You can't afford that.
They're
so why do you
pretending
want
like they patriarchs. They pretending like they rulers of the castle. They're in the Lulu land, okay? They can't afford to be no patriarch.
But that's what
but
they
want.
want
To act like they are.
And the people at the top is giving you what you want. Take the jobs from the women, take away the birth control, take away the this and the that, because they want your children to be what? Worker bees. And you too stupid to see that. You too stupid to see that. They want them to
Yeah,
be
because
worker
wasn't
bees.
some Republican congressperson talking about children should be able to start working, and he had a paper route when he was young, and they should be
And
able
that
to
they
help
could
the
be,
family and all that.
and they could work. Yeah. And JD,
Who
and
line I
JD
just
Vance
opened?
said that.
Yeah, man, it's me. I guess you ain't gonna try to speak up for the guys or nothing, huh?
They telling the
And
truth.
JD Vance,
There's nothing to speak
and,
up for when they telling the truth. I mean, they ain't nothing to
and,
speak up
and
for.
JD Vance,
Look,
what did JD Vance said the other day? He was telling college age men, you all need to have babies now. Babies they can't afford. So take up for the men. Go ahead, take up for them.
Go ahead,
Go ahead.
ABC.
no, all I'm saying, I mean, yeah, hell yeah, I be talking shit about these guys, but y'all act like women ain't got no responsibility in this. They ain't got no responsibility for the situation.
Ain't nobody
No
never
one
said
said that.
Ain't nobody said that.
No,
What you talking about?
I'm just asking because we really shitting on the guys right now. I'm just asking. Do
Because they're the
you
ones
hold
out there
women
with
accountable at all?
the loudest megaphones complaining about the damn women. You don't see that?
I see
Everybody
some of
play.
both sides,
Everybody
but I'm
plays them.
asking you personally. Do you,
Okay,
y'all hold
I
any?
answer it as a woman. I answer it as a woman. Everybody plays a role in the situation. Everyone is responsible, the men and the women. But you forget that we live under let me get my wording straight. We live under a white male's patriarchy. We do.
So that's why women
Do
gotta
we live
have all
under?
these babies without guys
No,
because
no,
we
no, no.
under
That's
white
not.
male
No, I'm just
patriarchy.
saying. So, and men, we live under white. We live under a patriarchy. White males patriarchy. White males patriarchy. That's what we're living under. And if
No, we
we
get that.
weren't from white men,
No,
no. But
so
if we were to topple the patriarchy, all of the hardship wouldn't be on men, and everybody could do their part. The men and the women. And yes, even though we still live under a white male patriarchy, women have a responsibility in it too. But you all are the ones with the bullhorns, setting the rules with the loudest mouths, knowing you can't afford the stuff that you say you want. You all are championing those to get rid of women's rights, to keep them back, to keep that glass ceiling so that the pressure can be taken off of you. You're championing that. So because you're championing that, and because we're under patriarchy and you all don't want to topple the patriarchy, then take the blame.
all right, so I ain't talking about none of that stuff you talking about. Patriarchy exists, I agree, throughout the world and with us too. However, since the 70s, feminism has been real big here, and women got all the college degrees, and women, especially black women, get more opportunities than black men. So the patriarchy thing, I ain't focused on that too much. I'm just talking about personal responsibility for us men that's making these babies and ain't taking care of them and talking that shit, but also for the women that's having sex with these guys who ain't got no jobs and they ain't shit and all this stuff, and then they
We
having a
agree.
baby.
We agree. I agree. There you go. I agree. But you can't dismiss it. I don't want to talk about the patriarchy. You can't dismiss that.
Well, the question is how that
Dismiss
plays
how it was
into
set up.
how does that play into the point about all these guys making these babies with these women and they ain't taking care of them, and the women keep having sex with these guys that ain't shit and making babies. How does the patriarchy? I mean, look, I understand the global and the big, the macro and all that, but when it comes down to it, each one of us is living our life and making decisions and decide what kind of job we want, or just getting high or doing whatever. That's all on each one of us. So,
well, stop championing submissiveness. Stop championing head of the household. Stop championing the patriarchy.
Why would we do that?
And let everybody, because that's patriarchy. Let everybody do their thing and everybody be responsible for what they're doing. And that
That's
will
what's going
take
on
the
right now.
pressure off of, that will take, because of patriarchy, that will take the pressure off of men. I'm all about
No,
taking the
hey,
pressure
real
off
talk.
of men
There's
so
a
they don't
misunderstanding.
have to carry it all.
There's a
But when you
misunderstanding. I'm
champion the
saying that
patriarchy
you already
and
took
you're
the pressure off of
championing the
us.
head of household
You
and you're
already took the pressure
championing
off of us.
submission,
You already took the pressure
how?
off. We ain't got no pressure on us. That's why we just fucking and ain't worried about the kids. Because it ain't no pressure on us.
Okay.
We do what we want to do. If it was
And do what you
pressure on
want
us,
to
would
do.
be holding us accountable and not giving up the ass, making us work for it and all that kind of stuff. That would be pressure on us and not getting with us if we ain't
And
got a
guess
job
what?
and we ain't got an
And the
apartment.
women
That would
and the
no. I'm just
women
hold on. I
are
just want to address.
trying
I'm
to get
addressing. But
other
hold on a second.
and the
Hold on a
women
second,
and the
Lisa. Can I
women
get
are
it? Can I get
trying
it
to
out?
get, you
Can
can
I
get
get
it
it
in.
out?
You
All I'm
made a
saying
statement,
is,
and women
yeah,
are trying to
I'm trying to
wake
be
other
clear.
women up
I'm
from
just
that.
trying to be
We're
clear
trying to
to
wake.
communicate that you said that we need to get rid of patriarchy and everybody be the same and take the pressure off of us. I'm saying that's the problem. It ain't no pressure on us, and that's why we out here just fucking. We can have all the girls, we can have all sex, and we ain't gotta have no commitment. We ain't even gotta have a job. So
Can I give
we
you
ain't
an
got no
answer
pressure.
to that?
The
Can I
problem
answer
is we
out
that?
ain't
there
got no pressure
talking
on
to
us.
RFK during the election, crying about paying for child
It ain't no
support.
pressure on us.
And,
So
and
y'all
listen,
end up
it
getting
wasn't
stuck.
on them.
We need some pressure on us.
Asking Robert F.
We
Kennedy,
need some pressure on
Robert
us.
F. Kennedy
No,
and
We need some
Jason
pressure on
help
us.
black
ABC, your
men
point,
because
your
they
point
gotta
is
pay
stupid.
too much child support.
It is
ABC,
And the man,
because he
he
don't
was
want to.
shocked.
ABC,
He
your
was
point is
shocked.
stupid because you're saying that you need pressure on you, and you saying
Yeah.
because women give up sex freely, that's allowing you
Yes.
to do whatever you want to. But the pressure
Yes.
need to
Yes.
be
Yes.
accountability. So just because you can
Right.
get it,
You're right.
listen to what I'm saying. Just because
I agree with you.
you can get it freely, don't mean you should go get it freely. You're not being accountable
You're
for your
right.
action. You're not being accountable for your action. So that lays
I
nowhere
agree.
near. That
I agree.
doesn't.
And Tyrone,
The fault does not lay on the woman with that. That lays
Yes, it
solely on the
does.
man for not
Both
being
of us.
accountable
Both of
and
us.
being
Both of
disciplined.
and
us.
hold up,
If she gonna
and
give it to me
Tyrone,
for
can
free, I
I
ain't
add
gonna
to
do no
this?
work for it.
Can I add
So
to this?
you're just saying black
Every
men ain't shit
time,
then? That's what you just said.
wait a
Yeah,
minute,
they ain't shit.
and can
And the women
I add?
ain't shit either.
Can I add? See, I want to say something. Every time women get platformed and they get loud and they try to talk to the young women to stop that. Do not do that. Do not have sex. Do not give up. Make these people work for it. Do not have babies with these men. Do not this. You know what the men do? They come and they knock them platforms down, and you all get a bullhorn and get louder than they are. What about that?
Can you tell me what platforms are doing that? Because I don't know any platform where women are trying to tell these other women that, and then the guys are coming and trying to knock it down. I don't know any of those platforms.
I know a plethora of platforms that's out there that's doing that.
Just name a couple of them.
Okay, let me pull them up right now.
My point
I'm
is that it ain't happening.
You want me to name a couple of them? Here I go. I'll give you a couple of them that have large platforms that's doing the same thing. Let me pull up. It's doing the same thing.
Where the women are trying to tell the women stop giving up the sex for free and all stuff, and then here comes some guys to tear them down. Yeah, and
How
where the guys
come
are coming
it
to tear them down.
can't stand alone? Men's accountability, responsibility. And here comes some shiesty black male. Oh, what about the women too? What about the women too? How come it can't stand on itself? Okay.
Look, y'all got everything you want. You the boss. You got the degrees. You winning. The only problem is you ain't got no guy that want to help you because you winning. You got all the shit. He just wants some sex. He'll go on to the next one. But you won because you got all the power.
Yeah,
so what you worried about?
Okay.
What you crying about?
And when you have, okay, I'll give you a few. Cerebral talk. Hold on, I'm pulling them off. Chrissy. And you come up and you find a problem and you get to trying to tear down Cynthia G. She was going at it pretty hard, but that's basically what she's trying to tell the women to stop doing. Let's just hold on. Let me get
I
to him.
thought Cynthia G was just attacking the men.
No, she was trying to tell the women also to leave them alone. Lasheed, hold on. I'm pulling them all up because I
I thought she was
followed
telling
them
them
just to
to get with
see.
a white man,
I know.
like Miss
Okay,
Lady B
come up with
telling
an
them. Get you a white
come
man.
up with an no. That's not what she was saying because she was talking about them too. How they're the same way. I'm pulling them up. These are just a handful. That Olay is another one. Huge platform. And when they try to talk to the women about this Dina Matthews, hold on, I'm pulling up. I'm pulling. I'm letting you know. But it's a whole list. I have to go down till I spot them. It's a whole list of them, and I don't want to throw nobody out here. That's not what they're doing.
Yeah, we're gonna go
It's
back and hear
one.
the recording and get the list from you, so we can go back and check all of those. So we'll get the list from what you
No,
say now
I'm
from
telling
the
you
recording.
what they're saying. They're telling the young girls and the younger women to stop, to this, to that. Put yourself, do what you need to do. And those who have children, there's a plethora of them out here.
Well,
And
that's
like I
good
said,
though.
so you just
Real
no,
talk,
you're
that's
coming
good.
up with an excuse,
You know what?
and
He's
you know what,
wrong.
and you know what the men do. And I'll give you a man who's doing it, Seamus and Thought. He's doing it. And there's some
Okay.
other men who have platforms out here who try, and you know what the men do? They come and they flag them. They fill up the comment section, running them down because they want to continue doing what you're saying.
Okay.
And
Well,
I think
I'm
those
everybody's
guys,
kind of missing a
screw
boat
those
on this
guys.
thing.
Let's all support those women that's saying
You
stop
know,
giving it up
I'm
for free.
sorry. Pink Pill was doing this 15 years ago. She was saying, get the best man, irrespective of color, race.
Right.
The
Get a white
best
man.
man.
I got you.
And you know
Because
what?
he got the
So
power.
many black men went at her because she said, don't limit yourself to black men. Whoever is the best man, whoever has the most to offer, whoever has maturity, who knows how to communicate, who wants to improve your life.
So she wouldn't focus on the black community. She was like, get you anybody. So she really wasn't about black power or nothing.
Her. So
This
you know
wasn't about the black
these
community.
black men are
She
full
was
of
like,
shit.
get you a good man, white man, Asian or something.
They are
they
full
better
of
than you.
shit. Stop mischaracterizing me. I know who to get. I know who I would not want to be.
And then,
I don't
Well,
need
we
you
know
to tell
who
me
you talk about
and
getting,
Miss
Smitty. You all
Lady,
about the
and
white
Miss
guy.
Yeah,
Lady,
we can
Get
hear.
a rich
Hold
white
on,
man.
there's somebody
Get
saying
a rich
hello.
white man and you'll be all good.
Let me see who that
Don't
is saying
worry
hello. Is
about
that
who
you,
I'm
Sarge?
with. You
We
just
know who
want
you
to
with. You come on and tell us every week.
Okay, that's all.
Because all your friends is married to him.
And
All
Miss
your friends is rich and married to him.
Okay.
All right. Calm down. Let me see.
It would not be anybody that thinks like you or communicates
Okay.
I
like
know
you.
it's a
'Cause you
rich
like
white
to-
man is who you
like
waiting
to
for.
meet
That's why you ain't
people
got
that
nobody
hear
yet.
something
Okay,
you
hold
don't
And you
on.
can't
Jesus
find
Christ.
one yet.
Listen. Y'all about to go back and forth. So listen, let me see who this is trying to say something.
Good luck finding a
hello?
white man.
Who's that?
Knock, knock.
Go ahead.
Knock, knock.
Go ahead.
Okay, man, look here. I think everybody's missing a
A
boat
white
here.
man before you any day.
Go ahead,
I
Sarge.
think everybody's missing a boat here. What I'm hearing here is a bunch of grievances about either experiences or people they've observed that they don't like, behavior that was harmful to them, whether they saw in some other spot, and they're missing the forest for the trees. The forest is why is patriarchy such a universal institution, irrespective of any corruptions or any wrongdoings that individual members of the patriarchy, both men and women, may be involved in. You're missing the boat entirely because you're immersed in your own individual grievances. I think we'd be better served by discussing why and how patriarchy came to be, why it is so universal in the entire world, what is wrong with it, and more importantly, what is right about it and what is good about it. I'm hearing none of that. And that's part of the problem.
Sarge, there's some psychiatrists that have talked about patriarchy and historians, how it started and how it came to be. And I'll listen to that over the past 2 weeks. And I'll find it, and maybe Tyrone can play some of that video.
Well, I think we should talk about that and see whether or not it is still those basic truths, basic facts, basic strengths and basic flaws still hold true today. I think that's what we ought to do. Then once we come to a consensus on that, then maybe we can agree what the defects are, instead of just condemning it and saying it needs to be replaced in this kind of crazy revolutionary thing where we can see is making both sexes almost unequally happy.
Okay. Tyrone, can I say something? Miss Sarge is finished. I just wanted to add to what Miss Lady said. Yes, Springfield back in the day, that is what she was doing. And there was a whole host of ladies that were back. I can name a few. Brooklyn Blue, Khadijah, and there was a whole host of them. That's what they were doing, trying to teach the younger women that were coming up on different things on how to do. They were harassed to the point where a lot of them, they just completely turned against not all black men, but a collective of them. They were harassed that most of them left. Then you got another generation that was trying to do that. And they were harassed and run off with a lot of foolishness, excuse my language, fuckery. And then you have another generation that comes up and they try to do that. So that's what I'm saying. There were women trying to teach, and a lot of them are starting to get through to a lot of the younger women now as it relates to that. But you just need the men to back off to allow the women to teach the younger women to course correct. And we can't even do that in peace. And to just dismiss it, ABC, and to make jokes and to find fault with it. You're not on board with trying to fix anything. Not really. You're on board with just trying to be right.
Oh, y'all still there?
Absolutely. I remember those women. It was quite a few. Brooklyn Blue, I remember. And there was another one who was fabulous. And she got so harangued and harassed, she stopped her YouTube channel. I used to listen to her. She was fabulous.
You're probably talking about Khadijah. You're probably talking about Khadijah. And they were really making waves out here. But they were harassed so badly by the men, they just let it go. And the ones that are out here now,
they want
them to.
Black girls and young women that they can spit game to, and who was raised up in that kind of foolishness, without strong fathers who loved them to teach them anything, and they could continue to manipulate them, as they like. That's all it was. They don't want
I believe that the great universe of men and women in relationships is one of unremitting misery, and that's what I'm hearing here tonight. I don't believe it. I think that there are problems that people have, but what I'm hearing here is that there is no communion, there is no reconciliation, there is no cooperation between men and women in relationships. That may be an oversimplification, but that's what I'm hearing infinitely more of than the other. I do not believe that. I believe what I'm hearing is an amplification of grievance to the exclusion of what is right about relationships between men and women, and even those relationships that are under the umbrella of the patriarchy.
Sarge, would you admit that we have you don't have to admit, but we have an incel problem?
A what problem?
Incel.
An incel. And remember, let's not forget their God daddy, Kevin Samuels, who they jumped on board with, and all that toxic stuff, the Andrew Tates and all the rest of them, okay?
Well, look, we have a problem with it, but I don't think it's an insurmountable one or even one that is significant enough to degrade relationships between men and women. What I think the central problem is that we are denying human nature itself in an attempt to rebuild a new man and a new woman. That's what I think the major problem is, not incels, even though it's a problem. Now, what I mean by that is human nature does not change simply because society changes rapidly. Human nature is eternal and stayed the same since we rolled out of the swamps and became Homo sapiens sapiens. It ain't changed essentially. And the problem is we're at war with it now. We got people who literally can't decide what a woman is. It's no wonder we're having all this confusion. Look, most of the people I know who are in any kind of a long-term relationship, I'm not talking about people that get divorced in a year. People in long-term relationships were overall, despite the frictions, content in their marriages and their relationships. I know I was in mine. And I know my wife had a head.
Cite some studies on that.
I know my wife had a head on her shoulder.
To cite some studies on that.
She did not obey me unquestioningly. I did not dominate her at all. She was well educated. She had 3 degrees. So there's no way I was going to tell her what to do unless she would agree to it. So, and I know many people who had relationships like that.
Having degrees doesn't have anything with people's emotional intelligence.
On the distortion.
It doesn't have anything to do with people's emotional. They can have 10 degrees, but it depends on how they were raised, how they were programmed, and and their emotional intelligence and ability to figure things out independently.
Well, I've been hearing you guys make complaints about this one and this one and this the influencer on social media and all this other stuff. That does not deal with the basic relationships of men and women that have been instituted and have been formed through millennia, not just this recent phenomenons. I mean, we're literally missing the forest for the trees. And we had to get back to what it is that men and women want to be with each other.
Appropriate. It doesn't mean at this point in time that it should continue. In fact, I say that it should not.
Well, again, we need to get back to what it is that make men and women want to be with each other in the first place. Because that's what I continually go back to, is what I need and miss about or have about feminine companionship and what I miss about it when it's not there. And it's a constant, and it goes back beyond a social media era.
I agree with you with that. Men and women still want to be together. I think they do. And I think social media made it worse. And we were all looking for, I saw but with social media, when it became a thing, and that's when everybody, like people say, go out and touch grass. And social media made a lot of things worse on society. Instead of it's done a lot for society, but it's made a lot of things worse in society. I think we can all agree on that. It made things worse for society.
Look, men and women have always distorted their views of each other. Men in particular. Now, amidst the domination that many men admittedly imposed upon women, men also had another rather unfortunate habit and trait to do when it came to dealing with women that was equally as unrealistic as dominating them, and that was putting them on a pedestal. We went from one extreme to the other when it came to women to a great extent. Now, and women, for their part, have a definite problem with understanding, especially in today's culture, with today's educational system and the rise of left feminism, have a complete misunderstanding of the male role in the male-female dynamic. They have a parodied, distorted view of what true masculinity is. And I think what we need to do, first of all, is to talk about true masculinism is. And it isn't these cartoons you guys keep talking about. It isn't. It is courage, restraint, loyalty, and honor. That's what define manhood, especially in Western civilization. And all of them, really, but especially in Western civilization, in the legends, in the tales, in the lore, everything else. But today, we don't get taught that. We got gender politics instead. and the qualities that sustain a civilization, the masculine qualities, the classical masculine virtues, are completely misunderstood. They don't talk about the responsibility of masculinity, which is duty to provide, protect, and uphold truth, even when it's costly. Instead, what we get is an over fixation on an obsession with not hurting anybody's feelings. And that's problematic for both men and women.
I don't necessarily agree with that, but this is where we are.
All right, I'm
This is
open
where
these
we are.
lines.
Q&A session is over. All participants are unmuted.
All right, YouTube, y'all can call in.
But this-
I appreciate y'all calling in. I got to get out of here. Y'all done kept me out here too late. I'll talk to y'all
Yeah,
later.
I got to get here. Oh,
Have a good
yeah,
night, Chuck.
before you go, Stars, I saw the documentary that you told me to watch on, what was his name? Do you remember the documentary you told me to watch?
Well, you mean
Sarge.
the movie told you about killing Heydrich?
Yeah, the movie. Yeah, Killing Heydrich. Yeah,
Yeah, the movie.
I did
you see it?
end up. Yeah, I did end up seeing it. It was very